What's up, guys? The 3% beer. It's hard, bro. Oh, I love my 3% beer. It's time. It's time to watch this amazing video from Jubilee, surrounded Andrew Callaghan, journalist, Channel 5 enthusiast, against 20 conspiracy theorists. We're going to go through all of them. Flat Earth, um, delusional takes, um, Illuminati, QAnon, everything is going to be there. Bigfoot, the pyramids were time travel. Everything is going to be it. You know, all the you know what's my favorite conspiracy theory? You know what's my best conspiracy theory? The, the, the fact that she's going to love me back. Thank you. Thank you. I wrote that one. I wrote that joke. I was like, I'm so proud. I'm going to be like, oh, the real conspiracy theory is that she loves me and or something like that. And I was like, that's not that great. So yeah, we'll see who comes. I said I was like streaming at 7. You know, it's pretty much 7 right now. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I kind of hope like someone's going to come. I don't want to listen to this alone.
Rake in the savings with Canadian
But
Tire's fall super sale.
I'm
Save
here.
up to
I'm here.
40% on kitchen appliances,
I'm here. I'm gonna
socket
low,
sets and more,
low
but only until
put
October
the
1st.
volume higher. Put this here and just 1 hour. Fun
Do I
time.
need to worry about the dark web?
Fun time. Fun time with the family watching TV.
How
What
would I know
else?
if my identity was stolen?
I'm so
Stress
normal.
less about online security. Get identity and device protection.
I go to
with
Ramens
TELUS
too.
Online
You see?
Security.
Ramens.
I hope I'm wrong.
There's
I don't
nothing more
want there to be
confident than this.
children being trafficked.
It's probably the first time where you see like leftists and conservatives coming together to demand
Yeah.
accountability from the government.
Yeah,
now, I got a legal demand letter with my name
Fuck
on it a couple
pedophiles.
days ago saying that we are going to be sued for $1 billion by the first lady if we
Me
didn't
too.
retract our
Happened to
issue
me
of homo
a
politics.
lot of
The solidified
times.
structure that we're standing on is the Earth, and the Antarctic ice wall is around it.
So what's past the ice wall?
Other civilizations.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah.
This is Andrew Callaghan.
I
from
talked to them.
Channel 5.
I did talk to them. Civilization there, I talked to them. I am in contact with these guys. They are aliens. No, they're angels and aliens. God, which is Nixon, from the Nixon era, they had like a time machine they never talked about. It's from there. It's from there.
Here at Jubilee,
My
and
third
today
eye
I'm
is
surrounded by
open.
20 conspiracy theorists.
Okay.
First thing I want to say to you guys is I'm not here to make anybody look or feel stupid at all. I'm not some kind of like expert debunker. I think that every conspiracy theory.
Well, that's
has
cool.
some
He's just going to
credit.
like go through like the ideology, because at the end of the day, I feel like most of the time in this age of disinformation, it's like those guys are not like different than any other guys. They just have their little like worldview. You know, it's like, yeah, we have like the standards today. You need to be like a certain way. You just need to see the world through a certain way. But I think it's so human, right? It's just like it's human animism and like putting big evil into the places and to like how to explain the world. There's nothing more human to this. It's like kind of counterintuitive, I think. For I mean, you can go like to a rational mind, but there's something like really, I think, naturalistic about like just kind of like going through like anything, you know. And I'm not like saying just like
Do it.
I think we don't give enough like we don't say like conspiracy theory and disinformation is like as normal as anything else for our brain. It's like there's this sense that, you know, the more we go on, the more we need to be evolved, and there's this sense of like, yeah, we need to like precise ourselves and organize ourselves better. But at the same time, it's like we're still like we're like those people, right? We have just like different information, I guess, or something. I don't know.
I'm hoping we can find.
I don't
some
know.
middle
I'm
ground
trying
and,
to
become
humanize.
friends.
You know?
All right, my first claim is QAnon is a baseless conspiracy theory. There's no evidence of a global cabal of Satan worshipping child.
It's like today, the norm is if you're going to make a worldview, you need to base it upon evidence and science because we're in through a time of science. I mean, you could like say it's not as robust, you know. You get like we have pushbacks and like we can just see in the US what's happening. You know, there's like a certain pushback, and there's even then like it's like what's the limit here? What is something that can be irrational into my worldview, and what cannot be? Like even those Satan thing, it's like there's something you could say irrational through a science lens, but like I feel the human mind is made to work with like irrationality because sometimes irrationality are just lighter on the mind. You know, they're more easy to deal with.
Trafficking elites.
No?
They control everything.
Ooh, there's a lot of like
Oh man, thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Satan worshipping. Oh wait. I was hiding your chat. Man, recently I watched this channel and video was called Physics is a Flat Earther, and man, nothing annoyed me more than stupidity. That's the thing, you missed all the thing I said. You missed literally all the thing I said. Those people are not stupid. They work into a frame where the information they have is going to make sense to how they build the world. It's like even yourself, I feel if we're going too deep, going off, you're going to have like irrational like beliefs about the world, and you're going to build yourself upon those things. It's just like those guys are like they're like anyone. Today we have a norm that is like how you're going to build your world is upon like science and stuff like that. But like there's a lot of people that like they don't are not going to build like their worldview around that. If you deny science, you're stupid for me. You could say that but like I feel today is like you're stupid, but at the same time I'm trying to say it's like it's human, you know? It's like not wanting to work too much. It's like it's kind of human. And it's like how can I say this? Of course they're going to be stupid if you're going to say like, yeah, of course it doesn't make sense. It's stupid from a science point of view. If you're going to compare this worldview to like a science one, whatever that means in science worldview, of course it's going to sound stupid. But like if you take like those guys for what they are, for like they don't have a contact with science, let's say they are just like trying to make sense of the world and structure that are bigger than them. It's like sometimes irrational thinking is just like an easy glue to make sense of like what kind of world you're going through, you know. And then, you know, it's what are you religious, by the way? Am I religious? I'm spiritual, because I got told that when I say I'm religious, it's kind of it's there's bad connotation. So now I just say I'm spiritual. I mean, yeah, you see, you can go there too if you don't mind telling. I just spiritual, but you see, if we go into that territory too, there's like stuff there too with religion, you know. But like religion are more well crafted, like certain worldview about things, right? That it's like even sometimes there's like questions. It's like science could give you like a lot of different answer. At least even for psychology and in sociology, we learn that it's like your truth in a lot of way is like really subjective to your own experience. If truth is going to make sense to you, and sometimes that's how they just go through life like that. They're like they're human. I think it's human. Like shamans, like you go like to like 10,000 years ago, and you had people doing like stuff like that was thinking like, oh, that the volcano is actually a soul that is angry. You know, it doesn't make sense. But like with what they are working with, it's like, I mean, you're just trying to understand, and like, you know. And I feel what's happening with today's world is like you have this society that are like so complex that if you want to really understand them, sometimes it's just easier to just like do those shit. It's like, oh, they're worshiping Satan because I kind of don't understand it. It's like, and understanding it it takes a lot of time, you know, going through like being sure what's true enough. It's like takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of time, and like sometimes you don't have enough time to think. So I could, yeah, of course they're like it's kind of dumb, but like at the same time I feel if you understand the reason why they come to these like ideas, there's something really you know, humanizing. you know, truth and rationality is sometimes like not as cut dry. Let's say. Does that make sense? Is that something that resonates with you, Nick? I feel I yapped a lot, but we have a lot to go through. So let's see. I think I put a good frame here. I put a good frame to like enjoy this video now.
And I look.
Yeah.
So my issue is with the claim in and of itself, right? The fact that QAnon may be baseless then means that there is no child trafficking ring going on. That's akin to saying that the Easter Bunny is not real. Therefore, there was no conspiracy to hide Biden mental decline.
Before we proceed, there's definitely horrible child sex trafficking rings that exist in the U.S. I just think that pedophilia is a pervasive problem among all crests of society. I just think that the rich have an easier time covering it up because they can pay for lawyers and they have money to keep people quiet.
That in and of itself is a conspiracy that you just described.
Well, then I'm a
You just
conspiracy
described a
theorist, I guess.
conspiracy.
You know, I just don't think it's limited specifically to an unnamed anonymous class of baby-eating elites.
Well, let's say the NGOs that are unnamed, right? We have
And again, sometimes it's like those conspiracy theory starts with their basis that you could say it's true. It's just the way they build upon it that becomes like quite like challenging, and sometimes it's like hard to really like discern because there's a lot of level of like how you rational it. Can you put the chat somewhere else? Where do you want me? Here? Here? In the corner? I could have changed myself. I mean, not that. I put here. What about here? I just don't want to hide like too much of like the video. If I go bigger and I just 3 chat at a time, is that a bit better? Like that? I like my chat big, but sometimes I don't want it to be too big. I want to still see
humans being trafficked in migrant camps going all across Mexico. Somebody pays for that, whether it's NGOs, whether it's the UN.
Yeah.
We have pedophile rings that we know have been exposed throughout the Catholic Church. It's hard to get more elite than the Vatican. Right. Then you have people that are hiding, obviously, what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. So the idea...
I think today we're just at a point in society where it's like we are trying to be so rational that the worldview you're going to build in your brain, it's like it is not going to be enough. It's like now you need to work with a new set of tools to rational yourself. That your brain has a certain type of tool to process information, and now with science we're kind of asking people to like use another set that goes against like sometimes like going easy or something. Does that make sense? You know, it's like your brain has evolved into like certain tools to discern certain information and make stuff out of that information. And today, in a society where the science is as big, I feel like we're asking our brains to use a different set of tools, and sometimes that's where it can like kind of get mixed up, and you get like conspiracy theories that you're not sure how to really like debunk it to yourself, because people that live those conspiracy theories, it gets hard to really see all the process of like building that certain like ideology or something.
That because we don't
really interesting,
know
really
what the tip
interesting.
of the spear is, or that the cobra hasn't shown its head, means that there's no cabal behind the scenes. Somebody is coordinating this. Now, let me put it this way: I wish that there was as much scrutiny being applied to the evidence that we have and that we've presented than there is.
But here again, I feel like if you're going to have a conversation with the like people, you need to go through their own like subjective experience, which is like you cannot say it's like wrong they're living that. Maybe they're objectively wrong, but the fact they're living it, there's like a subjectivity of like the experience of living through that stuff, right? I think people create those theories because the truth hurts them. For example, the theory that Jews exactly. So there's like you go there and like your brain is going to react a certain way about information. And today in today's society, we're kind of asking people to like kind of don't think about like how your brain works, just use the science tool. And I feel it's like that takes a lot of like knowledge, it takes a lot of education and a lot of time too. And if the medias are not working on that side too, and they are not like doing proper like stuff, it gets, you know, it's easy. It's just like out information, I guess. Um, I'm not sure what I was saying there. Anyways, we got
Conspiracy theories
1 hour.
that are presenting the evidence, right?
Definitely.
Like a conspiracy theorist to me is a derogatory claim for people that don't trust
agree.
establishment
Yeah.
narrative, right? But the establishment has done everything they possibly can do to discredit themselves.
And I think that the establishment had a hand.
And
in
again,
creating QAnon.
I feel like saying those things kind of dehumanize it, kind of puts them into like their experience they have about the world is still feels true to them, and there's like a sense, at least for me, that I feel you kind of need to work with that subjectivity. It's like those people think it's true, and it's fine. It's not fine. It's like there's there's this thing that comes along it, but like there's a thing about like working with that subjectivity or something.
I think it's the
Which
sole
I love
driving
Andrew
force
Callaghan for
in
that.
making all
Like even in
everyone
Channel
do
5,
it.
the way he like
True.
interviews
I'm
people
just
is
saying,
there's
if
like
you
I
think
really
about
like
it,
this
right? Like, we
side
know
of
with
it.
the Epstein stuff,
He
there
works
were
with the
underage
subjectivity
sex
of people and
trafficking
doesn't
rings
question it.
that
He's just
exist,
like,
right? Now think about
okay,
the
you're
logical
living
digression from
your
that.
reality
They're
like that.
breeding
It's
babies
fine.
to get adrenochrome so they
It's
can be
like
more.
part of the
Think
experience.
about how different
I
this
hear
is.
So,
you, and that's
let's work
disproving
alongside
the
how you
existence
think.
of one
You
by
know? Let's
continuing
be
to- it's
social.
what we call searching for the falsehood, right? So something can't be true because 3 steps down the line something is untrue.
I think
that
the first
doesn't
thing
mean
is
the
true.
first thing is true.
Yeah.
We can agree
Yeah.
that there are children being trafficked.
Yes.
We can agree that it seems to be some sort of systemic industrialized component to this child trafficking, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So then somebody has to pay for that. Somebody has to organize that.
Yeah.
Somebody with means, somebody that could be, I don't know, classified as an elite.
Yeah.
And that could be an elite child conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
To traffic children.
Could be a cartel middleman
It
with a bunch
could.
of money, man.
And listen,
I just feel when you come to those conspiracy theories, there's also the easy like what is the most powerful thing ever that could actually kind of do anything? The government, aliens, God. And I feel it's why too there's like a lot of like people that become like like psychotic or something. They have like delusion and stuff like that, and often because they cannot explain how the world is like falling apart, they're going to say, oh, it's the government, oh, it's alien, oh, it's God, because it's the only entity that you could actually use to make sense of how all things are. So for example here, you actually have the most evil thing into the world, a child trafficking stuff. How could you even imagine that something like that is organized and can work properly? You need something that's able to, as an entity, as an actor that's able to do that. And it's easy to just put like, you know what? You know who's powerful like that? That's control, that has power? Rich people, the government. And that's how it gets always entangled with like government and aliens, because it's entities that are like so powerful that they could kind of do anything. I think people create. Oh, I read that already.
what I would say is this.
And that's why I feel that a lot of conspiracy theories are around those entities, or even like psychotic, delusion, or like paranoia, or something like that. To an extent, now it's like those guys seems like healthy to their worldview. It's not like someone that's actually thinking that's like alien or talking to me. Because like even in that scenario, someone that thinks alien are talking to them, it's like it uses the same like kind of mechanics, right? It uses a certain entity that's like so powerful it could like actually talk to you. And if you don't really know how you could like come to that point, it's just easy. It's just an easy glue. So yeah, interesting, right? Really interesting.
People that trust establishment.
Really interesting.
Not that you're one of them.
Yeah.
What I wish that they understood is that we agree with them in that I hope I'm wrong.
Hopefully, I don't going to have too much ads. That would sucks. That would really sucks.
Kia, du mouvement vient l'inspiration.
What was the claim, by the way? So do you know the theory where there's like a pedophile ring of people that traffics children? And the conspiracy theory here is that those like pedophile ring of children are fed by billionaires and like Satan worshipping like government global cabal whatever. Big powerful people.
Wants me to be wrong.
The people that are like the most powerful, they are like Satan worshipping people.
I want me to be wrong. I don't want there to be children being trafficked,
Right.
and I don't want our government, our taxpayers,
Come
anything
on.
to do with it. But I think that a conspiracy theorist used to be called an investigative journalist. We have questions, and I think that those questions deserve to be answered. And I think that that's the issue here. When people say, "No, there's no list," stop asking questions. Move
It's
on.
like not QAnon, but like even with
like
Jeffrey
they should ask
Epstein.
more
It's
questions.
like
And I feel
you play
that
on those
there's
things.
got to be less than 10%
those
of the
strings.
population who says there's no list. Let's move on.
Yeah, they
I think
happen to all be in
right
charge,
now
though.
is probably the first time where you see like leftists and conservatives coming together to demand
So
accountability. from the
I
government.
guess they're
No doubt
also
about it.
And I
talking
think
about like
that
Jeffrey
QAnon was
Epstein.
probably a psyop in of itself by Steve Bannon, Miles Kuo, a variety of strange actors that work with the Watkins family and 8chan to basically discredit people from actually putting the target where it should have been, which is right in front of our faces. The richest people in the world, most of them you can look their name up. Not saying there isn't people who are just random rich financiers that are anonymous, but we can see, you can look at companies like BlackRock, Vanguard. You can look up online. We all have iPhones, right?
Yeah.
Apple, these major social media platforms have CEOs. The Saudis, the richest people in the world are operating in plain sight. And so I feel like when you aim
And you
to
see,
target
that's
an
the thing
unnamed,
too. It's
mysterious-
like once you have the tools to actually debunk yourself, now it becomes like more easy to see like where it goes wrong, and that's where those powerful entity, they're kind of just a glue. They're an easy glue to like to just build stuff around.
cabal of people eating babies in the hills, you're basically creating a thing that doesn't exist to convince people to look in the wrong
But
direction.
who is doing that, right? Like you said, we can look up the richest people in the world, but we're everyday people.
Yeah.
We have jobs, we have things that we're supposed to be focusing on that are outside in the realm of information finding.
Eh,
We
he's
don't have the
so
time to
right
go
on this.
through
Actually,
all
he's
of
so
the
right.
different NGOs that these people have created to hide themselves from this.
Right.
Maybe not the NGOs, but just the idea of like they're regular people. They don't have time to actually like most people don't have time to actually question themselves and like check if they're like actually like being true with their conspiracy theory.
This is the job of
It takes a lot of
journalists.
time,
This
like,
is the
you know,
job
to
of
like
our
build
media.
something that's like
Unfortunately, our media has
truthful
been
and like
captured by these
not,
same elites
that's
that you're
rational.
talking about. Not to bring up another conspiracy theory
Oh, yeah.
here, right? But this is what used to be the fourth estate, right? We used to be able to trust journalists to get to the bottom of it so that we, the plumber, didn't have to spend our weekends digging through tax files to be like, oh my God, did George Soros really get $270 million from USAID?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not what we planned on doing, right?
Right.
This was your job. And now the conspiracy theory is anybody.
Fan check conservatives has drawn connection between tens of millions of USAID grants and Open Society Foundation, which was founded by. I don't know what that means. Those claims are, as called those claims, manifestly false. Yeah, they don't have time. That's why they come up with that such bullshit instead of something that's noteworthy.
That doesn't trust
Yeah,
the
but like
establishment.
again, it's like
They have made us distrust our neighbor and trust the
it's
government.
not
They have
noteworthy.
made
We
us
don't
look
don't
at
want to
each other
judge
from
it. It's
a
just like they
veil of-
don't.
the
You know, it's just
citizen
like
doesn't have privacy, but the
brain
government
being
deserves
brain
privacy.
and
It's
working
a
with
matter of
information
national
and trying to
security,
make
right?
sense of the
Well,
world.
it's a matter of national security that we can't know who was selling.
Again, maybe it's
shit.
like music, right? Maybe it's like music. I'm too like charitable for it. I'm too like generous or something. I'm so good.
Yeah.
Then I think they've answered the question.
Your
I think
mom
that- I think
loves
the
me, bro.
Epstein thing is probably like the biggest potential breakthrough into dismantling some of those blackmail networks that have kept so much of the media and government compliant. But the thing is, whenever people stop trusting the mainstream narrative, which overall I think is a good thing, it makes
I need
way
to
for
focus
an
on what they're
entire
saying
vacuum.
instead of
Real
my
quick,
theory.
Sorry to cut you off. Which is a good thing? Distrusting the mainstream narrative or trusting
when
it?
people stop trusting the mainstream narrative and do their own research, generally that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, that creates a vacuum where people who are even less reliable can fill the void with just different stuff.
But that's okay though, because information is cleansing. Sunlight is cleansing. But
I'm not angry. No. Not all information is built equal. You know, in ancient Greece, they had this old thing I learned in class because it's really interesting, where it's like for them, you know what's really truth? Truth is not science or whatever. Truth is if I'm able to convince you that my truth is better, and that's it. I could lie, but if you trust me, my truth is better, and that's kind of funny. I think that's you know. So it's not like every source of information is equal, okay? Or more truth. Sometimes it's like it's going to be false, but because it's like more engaging, you're going to like just like. That's basically religion. In some sense you could say that. Yeah, it's more complicated than that, but like yeah.
conspiracy community.
I could yeah.
didn't start as a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that trusts the government. USA, baby.
USA,
But as you
baby.
pull at these
Buy
threads, you
chips
start
and buy
realizing the
5
government has
liquors.
lied to us over
Guns
and
in
over
Walmart.
and over again.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
good job, man.
Oh shit! Going to the wood and shooting some deer. Okay, we're still at the Satan
Andrew,
worshipping,
great to meet
trafficking
you.
Nice to meet
elite.
you.
Thanks
Courtney.
for coming. Thanks, Courtney.
You. I wanted to start with saying I think we agree partway.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I actually think Q was totally a psyop. But I would say that the part about there not being an elite trafficking cabal who are Satan worshiping, I
Right.
actually think there's a lot of evidence for that. So in any kind of a psyop, typically there's an element of truth. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Right, because otherwise it wouldn't work.
Right.
So have you heard of Project Monarch?
No, can you fill me in?
Sure. So Project Monarch was a subset of MK Ultra. You're familiar with MK Ultra?
So we're talking about 1960s counterintelligence programs.
Yes.
Got it.
Oh,
Which
okay.
actually
MK Ultra. Are they, is there a conspiracy theory where MK Ultra did kill like JFK? Not JFK, but like Martin Luther King or something like that. I'm not really good with my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Right. It was kind
I
of
know
weaponized,
Bigfoot.
right? By,
Yeah. MK Ultra,
Bigfoot
MK Ultra,
and
COINTELPRO.
aliens.
all
Aliens are
Yeah.
sick. I
And
love
the-
those
the
conspiracy
term
theories.
conspiracy theory.
Project Monarch has no supporting government record. Well, it kind of starts well when your basis of your conspiracy theory can be they don't even exist. Starts well. Starts well if we go more into like the logical steps here. It is a conspiracy theory without substantiation. The CIA conducted experiments on humans using drugs, hypnosis, isolation, sensory deprivation, and other extreme techniques under a program called MK Ultra. So MK Ultra was a real thing. They just like tortured people psychologically. Wow.
I also
That's
think,
not cool.
Like, that was weaponized by.
That's
the
not cool
CIA
that government can still do
documented.
that.
Slap that on somebody. Everything
Conspiracy
they say
or
is
not.
credited.
Yeah. Where do you think that began?
Probably around the 60s and 70s, similar to slapping the label communist on somebody during the McCarthy
With
Red Scare.
McCarthy, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a document. It was 1035-960.
Same time of
It was
the
to
Red
counter the
Scares.
Warren
Everyone was
Commission.
communist.
They didn't want people
Yeah,
investigating.
that MK was really
JFK
fucked up.
assassination.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the
kind of where
US, right?
They slapped them with the label conspiracy.
Look
theory.
at that. All the government
Okay, so Project
interacted with some
Monarch
stuff. They
was
were
a
like,
subset of MK
yeah.
Ultra, And in MK
They
Ultra,
love their
if you're
freedom and
familiar
their,
with, there was
we
we
need to
have
be
just
better than the
declassified documents,
communists.
So there's a lot more we don't know.
Yeah.
But we do.
We need to be better than the communists, but you know we're capitalists. That's why our government has a whole branch of search because don't know
that
when.
there were horrific
What the
things
fuck?
done where they were.
that's
using
MK Ultra.
trauma-based
They're
mind
sending me
control.
signals in my
So
head.
MK Monarch was a subset, and Monarch was
They're
where
brawn
they
and rushing
believed
me,
that
bro.
intergenerational trauma would lead to people who are much more.
I'm not even
susceptible
listening.
to
That's a
being
thing. I
programmed.
need to
you believe
listen.
in epigenetics.
I do believe in
Okay,
epigenetics.
gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. So have you heard of Kathy O'Brien?
Mm-mm.
She is a victim of Project Monarch, and she talks about she and her daughter were trafficked. So she's one example. I've actually interviewed over 11.
Peter Bryan wrote books claiming she was the victim of government mind control under Project Monarch, which she claimed was a subset of MK Ultra. While MK Ultra was real and the government admitted to it, there's no evidence of Project Monarch. Okay.
And I know that's a small population, but there are people who've interviewed way more than I have. Who
That's
have
a conspiracy
been
theory, I
satanic
guess.
ritually
Project
abused.
Monarch.
And it was all by.
And you can build
politicians,
from the Project
big
Monarch other
Hollywood
stuff.
celebrities. And then of course we have like.
That's
Epstein.
you see
What would
you see the other side too is like if something like MK Ultra still existed, I think it gets easier to just like start theorizing like what else could be there hidden in the silence, right?
you say about people who have these stories?
In the 80s and 90s, the US went through the now debunked satanic panic. Yeah, rumors that spread that satanic cults were abusing children through the country. Federal, state, and local law enforcement investigated. The FBI and National Center of Child Abuse and Neglect said thousands of claims could not substantiate. That's just a Catholic thing. That's just like white evangelical like US people being
and
like.
they all seem to have
The US is
shared
like still
kind of
religious a
themes,
lot, you know.
uh,
They're like
similar people
evangelical.
involved with them.
I think that you can find anecdotal evidence of
Pokemon,
ritual abuse happening
those
in
are
all areas of
demons.
society. I also think a lot of this stuff's like lived
Catching
in Hollywood.
monsters,
like, for example,
monsters?
Eyes
What are
Wide Shut,
monsters?
Everyone has
Demons.
that sort of in the back of
Why,
their
you
head
play
when they
with
think about
demons?
satanic ritual abuse. I'm sure that it happens, but I want to differentiate too, because when it comes to Satan worship, I know I probably this might not be the most charitable group when it comes to Satanism, but there's LaVeyan Satanism, and then there's Church of Satan. And Church of Satan is very much like atheists who are doing it to make a point. And then I think the ritualized
Listen
stuff
to them,
connects
you
like
fucker.
pagans
Yeah,
and-
sorry.
and sort of like old wealth worship and stuff. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I mean, I haven't looked into it too much because maybe I'm a victim of kind of writing people off when they start talking about satanic Hollywood Hills baby eating parties. I just always think they read it on
Well,
someone's Facebook
you can
account.
take a narrative really far, which makes it, kind of discredits the whole thing,
Right.
right? So just because they may say things that are kind of
Ah,
thank you so
she's
much.
lost.
Appreciate it.
You're gone, lady. You cannot like be a real conspiracy theorist like them. God, so many ads.
Sneeze-proof your cold season. Get emergency ready.
Build a
God.
website you love with Wix.
Dude,
For your words,
you know now he's not even. He's not even alone watching ads. We're two people watching ads. They double their performance
Yeah,
here.
man.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. What's your name?
Yasha.
Good to meet you. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you.
You need to
know
buy
stuff.
rich people
Maybe It's
YouTube?
the presentation. It could be the haircut. I feel like you're about to drop some serious statistics on me right now, and I hope I'm prepared.
Absolutely am. So,
He's
I'm
ready.
going to ask you some questions just to make sure we agree on the facts, yeah?
Okay.
You agree that Jeffrey Epstein was a child trafficker.
Yes.
You agree that there were elites who were at his island, on the airplane with him, at his parties, around the time
Premise
that children were being
two.
trafficked.
Yes.
You also
Premise
agree
3.
that the elites can't investigate the elites and find something wrong, because if we're asking the people who are on the island to investigate who is implicated in this, they're not going to give us a correct answer.
Not to mention, if you're a journalist and you try to report about it transparently, you can get harassed and bullied. But I interviewed Hunter Biden recently, right? And he suggested, because Jeffrey Epstein said this multiple times, that he introduced Melania to Donald Trump. Now, I got a legal demand letter with my name on it a couple days ago saying that we were going to be sued for $1 billion by the First Lady if we didn't retract that and issue a formal apology. So evidently, there are different lawyers that are going to pressure people into repressing the truth. I also think that these social media platforms are trying to get children addicted to like dopamine rush content.
I
whether it be, like,
agree.
semi-pornographic stuff. Like I was watching a music
I
video
agree.
the other day on my nephew's iPad because he's like 12, and I was like, damn, were videos always this like sickeningly perverted? Then I thought about Flowrida, and I realized yes, and we were actually like we were like one of the first generations to experience that.
Huh. Yeah.
The elites trafficking children is not a baseless conspiracy theory. It's a reasonable suspicion.
Well, there are elites who traffic children. I just don't think it's everybody with money and everybody with a
It's
successful
not
business.
everybody, but it's enough to shape culture and policy.
Yeah. I also think that many people who were on the island were kind of there, like, they were basically there as part of a honeypot operation.
Absolutely.
And they didn't go there knowingly trying to procure
Honeypots?
underage children. Not saying it's normal to be on
No, no,
Epstein
fair,
Island,
yeah.
but I'm saying there was a lot of other things there, extravagant foods, performers, services. I heard Chris Rock was doing stand-up for people at like a 5-person dinner table. So you're thinking, I'm at the place right now. I'm seeing all these trusted icons of media. At the end of the night, you end up with someone you realize after the fact is underage. They've got the video. Now you do what they say.
So that would mean that we are ruled by elites who are child traffickers.
Wait.
Or elite.
An honeypot is covert operation in which an agent creates a romantic relationship with a target in order to obtain information of services. Ooh, honeypot. He appears to be confusing Chris Rock with Chris Tucker, who admittedly is flying Epstein. Okay, I
So
see.
ruled by people who are
Honeypot.
blackmailing elites.
Bring someone into a
Yeah,
relation.
I think that at the highest levels of power, especially in this country, you have a tendency toward exploitation.
That's crazy, dude. They see Epstein and now they think that every elite
Yeah,
is doing the
power
same,
tripping for them.
but Epstein's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people around Epstein, you know? It's like, if it's just Epstein, why is it so hard to get information from him, right?
Andrew, great to
Nice
meet you.
So I just wanted to say the whole like Pizzagate thing, it stems from actually the abbreviation CP, right?
I know that Hillary Clinton was emailing people asking for cheese pizza, and people thought it meant child porn.
Right. So, but like in the
That's crazy.
pedophile community, like the term CP stands for child porn.
Yeah.
So like.
Oh, yeah, and for
Yeah,
their
and
community,
so
but
the
for all of
cheese-
us, it just means cheese pizza.
Right, exactly. But so my thing with the Comet Ping Pong, there was a lot of pictures at Comic Ping Pong that were really weird, like putting children in super strange scenarios, like very strange art to have at a pizza wall. And I think that it got misinterpreted. It's not necessarily that there were like children in the establishment. I think they were trying to say this guy is a pedophile and he could potentially be involved in trafficking kids, not necessarily at that location.
One thing I wanted to ask you about is what is the connection between Satanism and pedophilia? Because I went to a Church of Satan gathering and they didn't really give off pedo vibes. It was more like heavy metal punk rockers who just like hate their parents' religion.
No, 100%. I think it stems from like innocence being impurified, and I think that's like what the devil, if you get into religion, that's the whole point of the devil, is to impurify the innocence, right? So like human beings
That's
weren't
one
created
definition
to like
of the
live
evil, I guess.
in controversy and chaos and pain all the time. Like we weren't intended to live that way, but the devil has like infiltrated our lives, and like because of sin, that now we're all in pain. So like I think that's kind of the root of it, is like when you worship the devil, you want to perpetuate his goal, which is to bring more people into what the devil wants for the world, which is the opposite of what God would want.
I guess it's confusing because there seems to be more of a connection between the Catholic Church and pedophilia than Satan.
I would agree that there's a lot of that.
Yeah, the
I
Catholic
think
Church being
not every church is
the
necessarily
devil.
godly. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with like Church of Satan, Christian churches, some Catholic churches. Like I think it's just a part of being godly. Isn't saying like I believe in God. It's like doing the right.
Yeah, but think about it. For them, it's like the basis of their worldview is like, that's so funny. They were talking about something that people created centuries ago. You know what else they created centuries ago? A lot of things you're using. So it's like, calm down a bit, okay? Science was created centuries ago. But it's still funny. Like people are still have this worldview like of like, there's good. Good is God. God is meant by Catholicism. Evil is evil. Evil exists as a person, and some people are going there. It's like
thing all of the time.
Yeah.
So like you could say I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, and then if you touch kids, like you're not godly either way.
So for you, like Christianity means like acts of service, like living in kindness, helping your family.
Yeah, like just trying to benefit society, be a better person, be a good example for other people. And the other thing I would say too is like if there's not prevalent Satanism in the mainstream media, why does everyone start off super innocent and then like start dressing like Satan? Is that not a form of worship?
It's cool with the kids. I mean, if you go back to Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, it was a way of kind of protesting the strict religious households.
Yeah, but again, here I think like they don't know what Black Sabbath, that sort of like anti-conformist meant. You guys will say that proof religion is just fairy tales? Yeah. It's yeah, I guess fairy tales, right? It's just, you know, it's like, you know what else is kind of fairy tale? Art. But you enjoy your superhero movies, you know? Well, I agree, superhero movies don't pretend they're the truth, but they're still like doing shit to be like, we're like real life. It's supposed to be kind of like real life, you know? It's like there's fairy tale too, and culture is shaping you a lot, bro.
Hey, that was great though. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Like to defend religion or something? Or it's like sometimes it's just
we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Aaron News for powering the fact checks in this video.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm on their side. You could like spin religion into that way, but like
mistrust. Straight Aaron News helps you quickly find trusted information you need to understand the news, allowing you to dive deep.
It's just I feel sometimes it's really easy to just use the science cover when in a lot of way, when you really start to use science, especially in like human science stuff, social science, I feel it's where you get like to this point there's like not any truth, like one truth. There's like many at the same time, and like sometimes the truth is just subjectivity. Sometimes something doesn't even have a truth. It's just there. It's not false, it's not real, it's just there.
Their work is trying to break the bias bubble, helping you understand how that's why we're balanced and trust.
Anyways,
by clicking that link,
I don't even know how to enter this debate here with you.
Attack by the group.
Not even was that an inside job.
Al-Qaeda.
Hey, On arrête-tu bientôt?
Ben non, pas besoin. Mon Sportage a un moteur hybride qui va jusqu'à 775 km/h.
9/11.
Hey man, how's it going?
How you doing, bud?
Andrew, great to meet you.
Craig, but they call me Pasta.
Hell yeah,
Nice
why,
to meet you.
why do they call you pasta?
You know, my Italian grandma used to make me take pasta to school and stuff.
No way, in a bag?
Yeah.
Shout out to your grandma, man. Rest in peace.
Okay, so starting off this
Shout out to your grandma,
discussion,
rest in
also,
peace. Let's go.
We both agree that fact that we won't know 100% whether it was an isolated issue by Al Qaeda and the little ragtag team versus an actual government conspiracy.
Okay, I'll say like that. I think you're right, but I don't like the way you approach the idea. I just feel it makes people that are religious and they have those like weird beliefs about fairy tale people outside of you. They're different than you. Maybe that's where I've got like a little like I don't like how you said it. I agree with you, but I think saying stuff like that it entails a certain kind of judgment over like the people that are like believing those fairy tales, you know? Fairy tales are something like childish to this, right? Or immature. Like Santa Claus. And like I agree, sometimes it is, but at the same time it's like sometimes people are just like stuck in their belief, and for them it's like really the reality. It's like subjectivity, like, you know? And so people are so attached to their beliefs. It's like part of the identity. So it's like it gets hard. And that's why I think part of it why today, you know, politics, there's like so much divide, is that people are their like politics, and so it becomes like really a minefield if you really want to like change minds or just talk about it, because like talking about politics becomes not a say of like talking about the subject outside of you, but it becomes talking about you and how you are and how you interpret stuff, you know, which is like really intimate. And like that intimacy is like sometimes when you debate it, it gets you know, it's easy to like say you're different or something. You see what I'm saying? I agree with you, but there's also like a way. It's like I don't know how, but like how you approach
right now, because we're not privy to all the information, all the texts, all the right. So we would agree on that. But I
mean, for me, these are fairy tales. They could believe it's the truth, and that's okay. But I can judge it. Yeah, you can judge it, but it's just like they're going to feel judged, and I feel it's entails like it cuts the relationship or something.
Would probably also agree the fact that
they'll get a
United
wall.
States government,
you know, it's like you're going to say that I can agree with you, but they're going to put a wall. And maybe for me, is that I have the need to like try to like kind of be like, you know, I'm in psychology, so it's like for me maybe it's like a bit more yeah. But I agree with you. There's a lot of like it's like built up in nothing.
For a long time, what you guys in the media call radical jihadist groups,
anyways,
right?
let's listen
From
to
the
this,
Mujahideen to even down in Latin America to, you know, the opposition to the Sandinistas, you know, the Contras and whatnot. We're always okay.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched to think that there's some type of coordination between the intelligence or the government apparatus and the military between the actual hijackers and what actually took place, correct?
Here's my thing. I don't want to come off like an Osama bin Laden apologist. That's not something you want to be in your life. That's that's a worse label than conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
But to suggest that 9/11 was fully an inside job also implies that there would be no reason for some people out there to be upset about the things that the U.S. was doing. If you believe that Osama bin Laden's letter to the U.S. is real, it cites a few things specifically. It says keeping our military bases in the Arabian Peninsula after the Gulf War. It says our military support of Israel and a few other things. Now, those are all real things.
Yes.
And, you know, our puppet states and dictators that we installed in the Middle East, that stuff is real. That's enough to create a vacuum where a bunch of really angry people decide to do something like 9/11. And before TSA, it wouldn't have been that hard. You and me could do it.
Yeah, well, logically, what you're saying makes true, but both things can be true. Both a lot of people in the the Middle East, Osama bin Laden, his family, his cohorts can hate us, but also too it could be
correlation. It doesn't mean causation.
An inside job, because like we said, we've already established that the Mujahideen, Al Qaeda, we've been funding them. So, and you weren't involved in media when 9/11 happened, right?
No, I was actually 3.5 years old. I was near where Flight 93 crashed in Western Pennsylvania. So we thought there was planes hitting everywhere.
Yeah. So you went back, kind of did your research, and you formed your opinion now too as well. Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
So the first part I would point out, and I'd say go back and look at. There's three main reasons why I believe it was definitely a government conspiracy. Number one. Is the actual connections between the hijackers themselves, and military intelligence, as well as the government, right? I think a week
week after, and we're talking about mainstream outlets now reporting on this. Newsweek, I think, less than a week after, reported that 5 of the hijackers actually received training in secure U.S. bases. As we started looking at this other stuff and unfolding, we even saw that certain hijackers actually listed naval bases as their address on their driver's license and on their registration.
They were kind of Americans secretly.
So all these connections that we see.
Newsweek published 2000 hijacker may have received training at the U.S. military base. None of that is true. Well, kind of falls apart. The hijacker did receive U.S. driver license and ID cards, but they did not list naval bases at the
It's very easy to believe, from the jump, that we see all these connections. We see that they're being funded. They were also funded backdoor from military assets in the United States to Pakistan. By looking at that alone, wouldn't that be a little convincing to say, well, wow, there's all this funding, there's all this financing, there's something there?
But if you were to go back to the source of the funding, I don't want to botch pronunciation, but Mujahideen, is that how you say it?
Mujahideen.
So that was Osama was a big factor in that whole group. That was a group that we funded to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan.
Yes.
At some point, maybe a decade or two later, they began using all the.
You need to be good too. You need to like go around lies, even if you don't know where they are in their like speeches.
We also know that they didn't stop funding.
They could just lie to you.
Groups in Syria.
Usually when you don't have the information, like you fact check every single small thing.
To this day. So in other words, there's no evidence that they ever stopped, right? So we understand that there's a relationship between them. The second point of evidence I would also bring up is the whistleblowers and the ex-military intelligence people who were also shut down, gagged, not allowed to speak. I mean, John O'Neill, I don't want to start throwing names out there, but that's one guy who comes to mind who actually died in the World Trade Center because his new job was head of security at the World Trade Center. Well, he was the head of counterintelligence for the FBI, and he quit because he stated every single time we get close to the funding and whatnot, our own organization shuts us down. The CIA, the FBI, they shut us down. So you have all these whistleblowers who say, no, the there is there. We knew Muhammad Atta, right? One of the hijackers was in the United States a year beforehand.
Well, he received flight training in Florida, right?
Yes.
Or I think it was also in Germany. I think there's a big difference between the U.S. government knowingly kind of laxing up security in the lead up to 9/11 because they felt like they needed the public to get on board with their military operations in the Middle East, and they also wanted to pass things like the Patriot Act to increase surveillance on citizens. There's a big difference between that and actually doing it.
Yeah.
No,
but I mean, it's kind of like a little contradictory because you're saying all this stuff is definitely happening.
You see, we'll talk more about it after. Thank you, bro.
Honestly, the best way to discuss with conspiracy theorists is not to discuss with them, because even though you show them all the undeniable evidence, they're going to say otherwise. Yeah, most of the time you won't like get them like any other way. But that's where I think the fun is. It's like, how do you kind of go alongside what they're thinking to make like them into their own worldview question themselves. Sometimes it's just better to not say anything. I've got a story. Before you went to the stream, I played League a lot, and one of the League games I did, I talked with someone that was like a huge Catholic guy. Not a huge Catholic, but he was a huge religious guy, and believed the Earth was flat. He was saying stuff like, the Earth is flat, the Bible and stuff, and blah blah blah. And I even asked them, when did it start? For him, it's as easy as like, if you don't have science, how can you make sure stars are real?
That it was a complete...
Stars are just giant ball of gas. Like, said like that, it makes no sense. Like, why would it be giant ball of gas? And it's there that I was like, oh, okay, they start from like a lot of time.
Internal
long time ago.
That the government...
And oftentimes there's also like this sad side of like these people, because like often the cases is like they're so stuck in their theory that they isolate themselves, right? Which is like kind of sad because they don't have contact with anyone else, and so their only comfort become kind of like that theory of them.
Completely planned, completely executed.
Where we get like a bit more like those like psychotic
really
like schizo people too.
How many people can keep a secret?
Mm-hmm. I see it that way. I think.
However,
there's like a thing
I think that
here.
whenever you look at the intelligence apparatus that was happening before 9/11 happened, both directly and after the terrorist attack done by Osama bin Laden in 1993.
In Tanzania?
No, in New York.
Oh, in the basement?
In the basement of the World Trade Center. After all of the Afghan war stuff, where we're basically paying Osama bin Laden to be our our guy in that area.
Yeah, well, it usually
And
tends
then
to go
after
this
he was
way.
completely
The more
abandoned
religious,
by
the
his
less
handlers,
educated.
and then,
Though I know many
you know,
religious people who are
America did
clever.
all of the things that it does
Yeah,
to
and
piss
that's
everybody
that's
else
even
off
like
in
a
the world.
problem, right? Because if they're clever,
And the
they're going
government
to
at that
defend
time
their
was looking to put
their
in a
position
lot
like really
of
well.
surveillance
And I don't
stuff,
think
and we
it's
all know about
only a
TikTok.
religion thing. You go
How
with
quickly it
politics, it's going to be the
passed.
same.
So
Go
to
into
my
anything,
mind,
it's
there
kind of the
doesn't
same
need to
too.
be a grand
right?
conspiracy of 1,000 people, 150 people, or anything like that. There just needs to be about 50 that have a
And in a
vested
certain way,
interest
you're
in
the same too. You're going to
allowing
defend your own
something to
position
happen
like
that will
a
change
lot.
the minds of the
Even if
American
for, maybe
people
for
to
someone
allow
else,
them to be
you seem like
surveilled
a
and to be,
goofball or something.
completely and totally controlled.
Yeah, James, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I think that 9/11 achieved almost all of the goals of the Bush dynasty, which is territorial control over the Middle Eastern resource pool, specifically oil, oil family, and then they needed something so extreme and, spectacular and traumatizing collectively that the American people would be like, "Where are you going? Like Iraq? Is Osama there?
Why
like,
are we gonna
no."
go there?
It's like,
Yeah.
well, can get him. Whoever's out there.
Exactly.
You know, and I remember that time period and wondering why we were invading Iraq. I still remember how they would obscure the messaging of why people had, you know, negative feelings about us. Like I remember asking my mom and dad, I was like, why did Osama
they hate
attack
us?
the World Trade Center? And there was like, you know, some people hate that we can go to the mall
And
and
they
the
hate our
baseball
freedoms.
game and they hate Jesus. You know?
That is exactly what I grew up in.
There's
So
a Polish
definitely
flag, by
know
the
that.
way.
But
It's just like
Hey James, appreciate you, homie.
if the Polish flag becomes a red flag, the guy leaves, and you have someone else. Yeah, it's a Polish flag.
What up, man? How you doing, dog? Hey, thank you, bro. I like it.
They signal with the Polish sign.
Before we go,
The more
does
Polish
tinfoil hat
it
have any
becomes,
actual
the
purpose, or is
more
it more just
they
like for
change.
swag purposes.
Swag.
Okay, yeah.
It's under my Dodger hat, just to let you know.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
But it's a pleasure meeting you.
You too,
Dude,
man.
look at this
I
sick
had
ass
thought about your
cap.
prompt, and I was like thinking, I was
He's
like, that's pretty
protecting
messed up
himself
that
from the
government would do this as
brainwashing
an inside
5G.
job. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that their lives are lost and continue to be lost because of all the debris, the cancer, you know, the trauma, and you know, it's something I don't want to undermine either. This is very devastating.
Definitely.
The thing that James mentioned that was really good. You guys talked about the Patriot Act. I'm a product of the Patriot Act. I lived a life of crime, drugs, and lo and behold, I live in LA, so lo and behold, when the counties got full, the feds picked up the pace, and so they made these little private prisons, and how they were able to fill this is, I guess, this is how they used the Patriot Act. They started tapping wiretaps without
no warrant.
No warrant at all.
Got you.
So I was like on my indictment.
The Patriot Act did not eliminate warrant required for wiretaps. It did, however, expand surveillance power after 9/11.
I was like number 23.
It's
I
like
was in the
sneak
low
peek.
totem pole, but there was 31.
Searching using
Mine was the
delayed
ghost
notice
scope,
search
right,
warrants
that didn't
that enable
exist, but
law
it was just a
enforcement to search a
conversation
location
of
without
people.
immediately just
But because I had a
notifying the
past, it
target.
stuck.
You're just going
And the
to
only reason why I'm
sneak
bringing
peek.
this up,
Oh,
I'm
what's
not
happening
against
here,
it,
oh?
that happened to me because God used all that to utilize me to get clean, to change my life around, and I took advantage of it. Now as an adult and a new father and a new husband, I'm a little concerned of the policing of the surveillance of the state, and I feel like since
with the
really well though, it's like since the 9/11, it was kind of like if it happens, it happens.
Well, especially now with the Palantir stuff, like the surveillance state is just escalating, and the way they're aggregating our data and spying on us basically through our consumption habits and media.
Data mining.
They gotta like do intimacy. That's actually
And
really
we're getting
scary.
information, far later than when it actually has already been taking place or created, right?
Yeah, that's the craziest part about anytime you hear about something in the news like related to surveillance, it's like
Palantir, a software AI company, has 9-figure contract with the federal government. Nice.
it's already happening. You don't hear
with
about
data
it when they're making the
urbanization.
budget.
Nice.
So my just whole goal to you is just always go with an open mind and always dig. And I know it's very dangerous to dig in some certain areas because corporations are corporations and people are bought with whatever people are bought. So,
Dude, that's a nice thing.
too, man.
Open mind and then you dig. With anyone.
Conquer your tough pain.
Open
with
mind?
Liquid
Okay,
Fast
sure.
Relief. Add
And
the
then you
liquid
dig.
gels. Get liquid fast relief.
You were on a hunt for a display that would help you organize the meeting room booking chaos. But no cabling is available at your conference room. You have a glass or wood conference room presenting mounting difficulties. Or you simply
Open mind and think the earth is
going on, man?
flat.
How you doing?
Yeah, but that's the
Thank you.
practice,
Appreciate it.
dude.
Coming.
You need to get yourself so
Like to start
open you can even talk to a flat earther, okay? That's how you achieve
we're
greatness.
talking about
Exactly.
facts. We're talking about guys that have very little experience, and it was documented that I believe the pilot for the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania was believed. I'm sorry, the plane that crashed that hit the second tower supposedly was one of the weakest pilots, affirmed by his flight instructor. My question is, to pull off the maneuver that suggested to hit that tower, there are accounts.
What does that mean? He's there.
Pilots and very experienced pilots who said they couldn't make
he's
that
just
move.
high there.
What do you say?
He took like LSD before.
Well,
It
what
was
would
like,
the alternative be?
I'll
That
go
it-
there.
Like
I'll
they
show
had a
him.
professional, amazing pilot in there, and there was no hijackers.
Everybody's high.
It's not that it's an alternative, but it's like let's compare it to sports.
Dude, but look at his
There are
drip.
some
Look at
people
this
that are
like
equipped because of their experience.
shirt. I'm
and-
sorry,
and
but like the shirt kind of goes
they can
hard.
do things that others can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Like with those
especially
motif?
you're talking about it's a skill. Flying a plane is a skill. So to be accurate enough to hit that tower where it needed to be, to destroy it in a manner of which it was destroyed, there are pilots that are skilled enough that said that they probably
It's
could
Christian
not
drip?
have done that. So are we talking about a
Right
one-off,
across?
an anomaly with someone who is much less skilled than they are?
Bible in his belt.
I mean, it
We're not
didn't
even
look
paying
that hard
attention.
to me. I'm not an expert pilot, nor am I an experienced hijacker.
Can we
But I
skip
mean,
the this one? I want to get to the next team. There we go. Maybe we'll go like through.
Okay, thank you, brother. All right, my next claim is that Hunter Biden's laptop reveals personal issues but provides no evidence linking Joe Biden to criminal conduct or corruption. Let's get into it.
That's like a boring conspiracy. That's like politics.
What up, man? What up, Andrew? Good to meet you, man.
Channel 5.
Thanks for coming, bro. I appreciate it.
So yes, sir, Howard.
Good to meet you, Howard.
Man, so your first part right there, you said about with the personal laptop.
Yeah.
Boring as fuck. Do we skip this one? Do we skip the laptop? I don't mind skipping. Let's move on. Okay. Joe Biden. Yeah, that's just politics. But I guess you see, there's like like conspiracy theory now or like in politics, and now to like make a well decision, you have to like be like, you have people like that. Okay, the flat earth, that's fun. The earth is a flat, it's a sphere.
Is given much as expected, and it's for.
Okay, let's go. That's a good
My next
one.
claim is the Earth is not flat. It is probably a sphere.
Ooh, he's so slick.
Yo, my guy, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to meet you.
Fanboy, pleasure
Good to meet you. I appreciate it, man.
That's right, that's right. All right, so I'm gonna do this in 3 different parts, right? 3 different parts, easily, real quick. If we were moving barreling through space in the widely accepted version that NASA gives us at like what 64,000 miles per hour, right?
And you see how they like, even if they have like the information, they're going to reformulate it so it works with their worldview. It's like, no, the NASA is fake too.
Spinning on
So
our
that's how you
axis at
get
over
like
1,000
really
miles per hour.
isolated.
The
Which is kind of
constellations
sad.
would change every hour. The stars would not be able to remain the same. Polaris, one star in the middle that all the other stars circle. The further you get away from Polaris, the faster the stars are
It's
moving.
like, I feel with science, it's like there's sometimes it doesn't feel right. Science can feel like magic, you know what I mean? It's like, a bunch of maths, it's like abstract, it's like
the slower they're moving. This star has not moved for eons, centuries, hundreds of thousands of years, which would be impossible.
it's like the scales, they're like too big.
Well, the question is,
It's not
Antarctica is
intuitive.
kind of the biggest thing when I talk to flat earthers. So Antarctica, right? If you were to enter Antarctica from beneath Argentina, right, Tierra del Fuego, and get onto Antarctica, if you went through the whole thing, would you pop out on the other side of the sphere, on the other side of the southern hemisphere?
So when we talk about the Antarctic wall, right? It's not.
People know this
a
because they
sphere
don't
or a
understand it.
flat-
Yeah,
flat
I agree.
surface. It's a
I agree.
It's almost like a snow globe.
And that's
understand?
why
For
at the
the
US has
firmament,
like kind of
the
shit
actual,
education.
the-
Like where else do you have like crazy people like that? You know what I mean? It's like they don't really have the mental tool. Education didn't like prepare them for a democracy. You know what I mean? They go into the democracy like that. It's like you're not going to like be able to think politically how to run a country.
the solidified structure.
And I think that's one of the reasons why the US is like going there today.
Antarctic
Like they're
ice
kind of
wall is
like
around it, encapsulating everything that we're in right now. So leaving outside of that, of course, you
freedom.
more places, more pieces.
You know, you can just defend everything against freedom. Freedom is the real conspiracy theory here.
regulated away from.
Yeah. So the ice wall is not infinite, or it is infinite?
No.
So what's past the ice wall?
Other civilizations.
Oh shit!
Yes.
So on the same plane, there are other parallel societies.
Absolutely. Have you heard of Agatha?
No.
Agatha is believed to be the Hollow Earth, and there are different Hopi prophecies. There are different
That's just
different
cool
Native American
though. I don't
prophecies
care
in
if
which
it's
they describe
false.
an
It's just
an
sick.
entire civilization. This will talk about the.
I don't care. I want to learn more about Agatha.
On these old
and
maps,
the
once
weird
you pass the
aliens.
ice wall, there are other continents just outside with different types of ligers, different types of genetic splice, different type of aliens that you would call it.
Yeah.
So whether or not you
I wish my imagination was gonna. You need to practice making connection about anything, bro. You just need to connect everything together, and I swear to God, your brain is going to go crazy and just start gluing shit together that makes no sense. And that's where you get God and aliens and government.
Terrestrial, interterrestrial, whatever it will be that's connected into the Anunnaki thing, but
yeah,
Trust
it's
me,
almost
dude.
impossible with the science that NASA gives us to deceive, gives us.
Trust me.
I mean, just on a base level, I hope that what you're saying is true. On like a
Absolutely.
science fiction adventure level, I want to go there and talk to the ant
The
people.
world's way more interesting, right?
But the big question
Yeah,
is,
isn't this thing too? It's like more fun to live this. It's like oh, life's a movie, dude.
that NASA would have in convincing us that the Earth is round as opposed to flat. Like, what's the benefit for them?
And at a point, I think it's like when you're that deep, it's like starting to question like how deep this guy is into his theory. It's like it's arts too much to like just get rid of everything. He's losing like everything he knows.
Strongest.
It makes him different.
indication of
Like
the slave mind is to get you to deny what you see with your own eyes, to get you to be able to see how close the sun is, how close the moon is, to be able to see the waters above and the waters below, to be able to connect these things in nature to yourself.
You see, guy would have strived if it was like 10,000 years ago. You know, when you were like the only like science was like religion. You strive if you're able to like no, not that much maybe. This guy could buy a
Did
gun,
not,
by the way.
because somebody tells you that's not true.
I still I don't think though. Okay, I'll be here. I don't think it's because you believe those things that you're a bad person. Like these guys are still like social. You know, I don't. In a way, I know. If you're not like thinking you're one of the enemy in his head, you'll be fine. They're like anyone else. But yeah, you could question. Oh no, the psyop. The psyop. Hello? Okay. They got my internet! Not a bad person, just dumb? Yeah. Not dumb, just like don't have the tools, dude.
What's going on, man? Thanks for coming.
Just didn't have the tools or something.
My first question for you was, do you know?
And at the same time, it's like, there's a part of me that's like find it fun. That's like you're able to have like people still in society having like, these like funky beliefs about the world. There's something like really I think fun. You know, just like kind of there's like people are going to have like such a unique way of seeing the world. You know, I think at least for me, I kind of like this. I'm not saying that works as a society. It's just like you can still have people like that.
There's means in Hebrew.
In a weird way.
Oh shit! Are you a Hebrew Israelite?
Kind of fun.
Somewhat. I think it's in my blood.
Okay, cool. Respect.
Yeah.
What is
He has a
NASA
tool.
mean?
He just doesn't use them. I don't think he has a tool.
In what language?
Or he's like he's so far gone. Is like questioning his theory about the world is like too much pain. You know, when you're that far gone, not far gone. I don't like the word, but like not like there. It's like.
Is that true? Do we have a Hebrew?
I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. You can look it up on your own time for sure. When you talk
There's no credible evidence connecting NASA to conspiracy involving deception.
about the stars' lights not reaching the Earth and because of the time delay of what is it, space travel or things like that, I think the true answer to the question is the stars are placed into the firmament. Genesis
You see, that's
1,
crazy.
verse
They
4,
say
the stars
tell
are
the
placed into
truth.
the firmament on like the 4th day of creation. So these are not fast.
You see, they think they have the truth. You know that they would like say the same thing we're saying about us, right? I'm not saying like you should question completely yourself, but like you know what I mean. They think they have the truth. For them, they're living the truth.
Getting to Earth 100,000 years later. The reason they are stationary, like
The same way,
like
in
Gentleman
some
mentioned, is
sense,
because they're placed in the
yes,
firmament.
we can like be able to
They're
have like
not
logical
going- they're
steps
going
to
forever
back
be
ourselves.
Just in the
They
place
think
where
they
God
can
placed
like.
So what is the sky?
The sky is a hard tangible expanse. It's the reason it's called the firmament. It's a dome.
They're
We live in a
delusional?
snow globe, right?
On a deeper level, though, like how would NASA?
They're not delusional. They're just like in another sphere. They construct just something. They're not delusional. They just like constructed a worldview that's like just so far from like mainstream. Okay, they're just deviant.
Question, I forgot that.
Yeah.
You're hiding God's handiwork. God is the creator. As soon as I change what he created, I bring into question his existence. Or you understand what I mean?
Right.
So also NASA, when you take a T, the letter T, and you place it inside of NASA, you now get, and you play a little bit of scramble, you're going to get the word Satan. So what we're getting at now,
you see a lot of
is
connection.
diabolical game of Satan.
It's just
versus
making
God.
connection. The
Satan,
steps are not
moved
making
to
sense.
Debunk or displace the
They make
existence
some
of God
side of sense,
in
but
real
like they're
time
not
in
like
life and people's minds.
backed. It's like
Once
if you
do
really
that, when you
take
pass
each
away,
step, you're like,
now in jeopardy of
why
going to
going
place
A
called
from B
hell that Jesus
actually
speaks
makes
about
A
alive.
from B
So
true.
it's very important to discredit or debunk the existence of God.
There's a pretty major religious undertone to all this.
So you see these guys, if that the tool, they will be like so smart, questioning everything, trying to find like logical steps to an end goal. God damn it, bro. America,
100%.
dude.
But we can see that even coming away from flat Earth, when people go into
Creative,
things like
too.
that, we are spiritual beings in a temporary vessel.
Yeah.
So the metaphysical is 100% more prominent in our lifetime than the physical.
Have any flat earthers like gone together to Antarctica to like try to see if they could get
No,
past
you
the
got
ice wall?
that peace treaty. You got that the Antarctic treaty that came. So Operation. Okay.
Okay, GG. GG. GG, dude. You cannot beat science, dude!
Des fibres alimentaires
Science is going to beat your
prébiotiques,
ass!
des solutions
With
incolores
facts and
et
logic!
complètes, sans goût et à base de plantes. Tout simplement.
Tea!
Des fibres au quotidien.
My
sans
conspiracy
effort.
theory is that I should get a tea right now. Why? Life advisor? My life advisor is that the earth is flat. Here.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Hi. Great to be here.
Great to see you here.
My name is Day. My profession, I'm a shaman. I'm a Heyoka empath. I am a singer-songwriter producer, and I incorporate my music in with what I do.
It's amazing.
And so when you were talking about Antarctica and why people haven't been able to go there and all the restrictions. So do you know about like astral traveling and or things about the government was doing studies of trying to remote view?
No, but it sounds great. Can you tell me more about it?
Yes. So what you can do is you can get to certain levels of your consciousness through different stages of awakening. These happen, like we were talking about.
Okay, I can lie. I really love studying religion for that esoteric stuff. Because I do believe that even if it's false, there's a experiential quality to sometimes do this shit. I'm not saying it's true, okay, Nick? Don't start telling that I'm a shaman believing of like the third eye opening. But I swear to God, sometimes when you do those things, there's a experiential magic to these things that are really, really cool that you don't get anywhere else. It's like meditating and like elevating and enlightenment and like even like praying and stuff like that.
Mental health issues,
That's why I kind of like spirituality
or different parts.
I think it's like even if you, in a sense it's not true, there's a experiential like aspect to these belief that is like really fun. You know, it's like tarot cards. Of course, tarot cards. Yeah, but it all happens in your mind. Yeah, but still, I think the experience you have, you need to kind of play the magic. It's like a game a bit. You need to play the game a bit. It's like if you go to a party, Nick, one day, you can't go to a party. You're like 16, and there's a girl doing tarot card. Play along. Play along, okay?
We were acclimated to a part of shamanism.
It's just fun, even if you don't believe it. And don't try to like break the game. Just play along.
It is not as seen or recognized.
Because I do believe there's an experiential thing that cannot be put in words. And one of the way people were able to put it in words is use those like weird theory. I will.
First, we have to think about the
Especially
things
if
that
she's
they
cute, dude.
conceptually tell us about in school. Think about when you were in kindergarten. What was it first? What was your first experience? What was it? Colors?
As far as what introductory.
You see, I go back to defend like these weird beliefs. I think it's like these weird experience that is different. You cannot really explain them say with science, so you just like create a bunch of like mystic like thing, and it's kind of pretty too. You see, there's like kind of like a fantasy to it that's fun.
The globe was one of the first things they pointed to.
Exactly, and the circles and the shapes, and they start teaching us how to conform naturally with what is going on. But in kindergarten, we have rainbows. We are on that divine frequency. We actually know a lot more of what's going on when we're children than we do as the older we get.
And it's like scientifically, you cannot really explain like this thing she's trying to say that a kid, there's a certain naivety about the kid, about when you're a kid. And you see the world through a lens. Once you're adult, you cannot really go back to, and that's a statement. I guess we can agree, but like really digging that feeling, I feel science cannot really that much. It's not going to give you like a certain way of like exploring that idea, and that's where I think there's like more fun to do with all that conspiracy theory. You know, if we leave the political realms of trying to understand the government, it's like there's
removing us from programming that we're actually.
I'm not saying you should ditch science.
So throughout school, they start giving us things to start.
Far from it, okay? Just be playful.
Which we become in the workforce.
I think that's totally.
Be playful. I know it's a game.
Like elementary school.
How about that?
I always thought that like school was kind of a government psyop to get people to be like non-creative, cheap humans. But also it makes it so you can make friends. Like if you get homeschooled, you can kind of become like a little awkward and have a hard time being around other kids when you're like 10. You know.
But what's wrong with being awkward?
I mean, that's a great question.
That
if
is
you're
a social
awkward watching
conformity.
This, I love you. I don't want you to feel weird.
Exactly.
However, people are kind of mean-spirited, so it's good to get thick skin, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that thick skin. And because of that thick skin being able to be developed, it is not that I am here trying to change your mind into thinking the same way that I do. It is the natural process of how I came up over this information because.
Let's be honest, most minimal
yeah,
wallets weren't
and
designed
I think there's something about what she's actually saying that I like.
But then I discovered
about like sometimes you just have information you cannot make sense of, and that's where having a little conspiracy theory or believing in magic can help you. Pen 15, pen 16, pen 17. Add.
Have so many things that they're already introducing us to. Black holes, circles, the things that are already around us, the things we have, but nobody put it together. They say double rainbow. What does that mean? The double rainbow actually means there's two parts of Kundalini awakening. We have the chakra system that is within us. That is actually the rainbow, Roy G. Biv. So if you do Roy G. Biv starting from the
and there's also like a social
chakra,
thing
starting
there.
all the way up, you
it's
get
just
to your
like
third eye, which is the awakening. And so these are techniques that the
having your
CIA
code you
started
can share with someone, even if it's like
70s
ridiculous.
And the 80s.
Like memes. You know, in some sense, memes have no science backed, but we love science even if they don't make sense. And sometimes I feel like the magic thing is kind of that. You know, it needs to become like a bit of a meme thing. We know it's like just like a joke, but we play alongside it. Not another one. I mean another one, pen 16.
Before they started introducing it into the general population. So what they were doing is they were using this remote technology and this way of enhancing your brain, teaching people going through these natural processes through just meditation, but they were using, then it gets into the psychedelic realm of things.
But memes are for entertainment. They base their life on those theories. Yeah.
Code. It's just
well, some people base their life upon memes too. Have you seen streamers?
God. But because when they don't want to
My life is a
teaching us
meme.
all of this, they separate it to the upper echelon of people and they give us
Again,
little bits and
it
pieces,
doesn't like
then eventually wean us off.
So you think the elites of society
What do you mean,
have access
alright?
to this healing method?
Yes, they
15.
do. Do you know about binaural
Add.
beats?
Woohoo. Let's go.
So using hemisync and binaural beats frequencies, you can actually sync up the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of your brain so they're operating on the same wavelength, which actually increases the level of capacity that you can think because most people are not operating.
And you know what? She says this in a weird spiritual way. But you remember when we were doing the iceberg of genre of music and we've been to like the brown noises and those noises? There's a backing in the science that it makes you more focused. I'm just saying, the science back the magic.
On the full capacity of their brain.
Has that been able to like heal you in certain ways and help you deal with emotional?
Have you seen Intro 1? No, today it's intro two. Intro two. Only intro two. I've killed Intron. I'm a clone. I don't have a belly button. You know, clones don't have a belly button. I don't have a belly button. I don't have a belly button. I killed intro 1. Today it's intro 2. Tomorrow we'll see. There's intro 3 waiting for me. I need to fight him to death. Outside of my door here.
So with depression, anxiety, I do have DID, so my system is able to operate together as a cohesive set. So we're able to, come together when I'm meditating, and I can imagine we're at a round table, and the different fragments of me are able to do my daily functions of what I need to.
And okay. So now she gets like into like a certain like I think like having magic, it gives you a certain sense of imagination that permits you to have a certain frame to see stuff through, like your own self, which is like really interesting. It's like if you create a little like conspiracy theory to yourself, you can like put yourself into it, and it makes you a context to live through or something, which is like that's just imagining thing and having a creativity, I guess.
And so
like reading a book.
Because I started going on this journey because all the big pharma was trying to
like
do
reading a fiction book. A fiction book is not really real, but again here I still say it's like fiction. It's like a game. It's not real like science. When I guess like these people kind of believe it's like reality, which is like again subjectivity is the only thing. I mean, she's yapping all those presumably wise words, yet she still thinks the Earth is flat. That is true.
Pulled down my throat and make me feel like a
I
zombie.
forgot this is
There are
about
other
the
people
Earth
out
is
here
flat.
that suffer from different fragments, and I realized this comes into what they've been talking about too.
She's a good shaman.
Reincarnation.
Totally. Hey, well, thank you so much for your time. I'm glad it worked for you, and I appreciate you coming to talk to me.
That was about yeah. She got lost in the sauce. She got lost in the sauce.
What's going on, player? How you doing?
How's it going?
Andrew, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I like the swag, Danny. It's awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So as far as flat Earth, I just wanted to kind of give some facts that I had found. Where do you
Lost in the sauce.
think that the spherical?
Your mom
Earth
is lost in my
story
sauce.
came from?
I know we used to have a non-spherical model, and there was a particular scientist who changed that understanding.
And the
What was his name again?
Okay, so
Copernicus.
Actually,
I'm pretty
around
sure.
2000
I think.
BC, before Christ existed.
Yes.
Almost every ancient civilization believed in a flat Earth system. It was a 3-tier.
And every civilization was believing in a polytheistic like gods. What do you mean it's more because they were believing that it's more through
model. So it had the earth and heavens above and hell underneath. Now what they were speaking about with the firmament is it's spoken as it's actually heaven, but it's also spoken as a very tangible object.
Right.
So when you hit the heavens, you can break through. What we might think that is like a sound barrier, breaking through the sound barrier.
Yeah.
So what they when you're looking at it,
if you're someone that suffers from having sensitive teeth, but you want them whiter, I recommend
I don't want my
Sensodyne.
white teeth. I want the most yellow teeth ever.
Quand c'est propre, ça fait rêver.
That's the only thing I
Le
need.
nouveau
The
H2
yellow
de
teeth.
Vileda avec 2 réservoirs séparés. Pulvérise de l'eau propre, nettoie efficacement
I think
et
that's what I
emprisonne
need.
la saleté dans un réservoir séparé. Le nouveau système H2 Pro de Vileda.
2,000 years BCE, they ended up losing a lot of that information. It wasn't until around
No evidence to support this. The firmament originated in the Hebrew Bible. Not believer in the firmament say the barrier separate. And again, doesn't matter.
the 3rd to 6th
doesn't matter if
century,
it's 3,000 years or not.
Christianity started taking over forcibly
Ancient
many
civilization.
communities and areas
They had like wisdom we
and
didn't
sending
couldn't
their
even comprehend.
priests down, who were
They
most
were
educated,
Right.
and so
They had
we were
magic.
following their education system.
Whoa, so you think that the circular Earth model is a product of colonization?
Well, between the 3rd and the 6th century, after
Dude,
Christ
that's really-
existed, that's when they started forcibly changing the models over. Anyone who started to believe in the spherical globe, they actually were said to be taking those people out. So
You don't think this may be because Western Europe was like a kind of a little bit ahead scientifically from other parts of the world?
well, I think that that's a good thought
Pretty
process.
funny that
However,
one sun said that
every
the
single
coastline is
person, when
ruining
you
their
look at
entire theory.
Origin or Cosmos, those are some of the
They have a
from,
counter
3rd
to
to
that,
6th
bro.
century.
You don't get it.
Some of those people believed in the round Earth. Some of them did not. Interestingly enough,
I don't understand what he's trying to say. He's trying to say like people were like believing something and then like because they were more backed before. It's still not backed. Those old
from Europe, and he had allies that were very powerful.
Yeah, sure. The sun is
They
just
actually used
disappearing.
his story
It
to
goes
start
under the plate,
the
bro.
actual spherical Earth. Every single person between the 3rd and 6th century who did state that the Earth was round and that they started using those as models, they actually were all related to Christianity. So every single one of them was high up in the church before they adopted their scientific studies. At that point, they had discredited thousands of years of written down studies that had very clearly explained how the 3-tier model system works.
So I'm thinking, like, I saw.
It's not because you have like. You need. I get it. It's like these guys doesn't know how to fact check like what makes a knowledge a right truthful knowledge. They don't have that background. It's like they don't know what's a truthful knowledge and what is like not truth. So there's like they build upon like materials or not like scientific
or something. They take him on a satellite very high above where planes fly, and he jumps out of there and he parachutes down.
That's an
and
easy
he
way to
lands
like
somewhere
counter
in the desert. But in that video on YouTube that I've seen
That's
before, you
boring.
can see the
Everyone
curvature
says
of the
that.
Earth
Everyone
begin
knows
to
that.
form. I also see
If you're not
satellites in the
American.
sky, and I know that it's currently dark in Taiwan and the sun's out here in LA. All those things to me seem like, to a certain degree, irrefutable proof that there is some kind of curvature here on this planet.
The sun moving, though, specifically, let's say hypothetically it wasn't a sphere, let's say it was a flat circle. If the sun was underneath and the moon was above, the shadow would still create that same curvature.
So the sun is a roving luminary on a two-dimensional plane. When there's 3 layers in the firmament and God created it, and you feel like the actual globe model was created by atheists who were trying to smite the word of God and make it seem as if we're just people on a rock floating through cold space.
I believe that there was people who were looking.
Why would they make you believe that though? Like, what does it make you? Please watch this. Can I after?
Very in-depth
After we're almost done.
Analysis prior, and we
Less
still
than 10 minutes.
follow a lot of those people as far as their ideologies, and we study them in school.
We're out of time. Thank you, bro.
No, I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, hell yeah.
Andrew will now choose a conspiracy theory to debate for 10 minutes on a claim of their choosing. Please aliens, please aliens, please aliens. Please aliens.
You know I gotta go with
Or
my guy.
Bigfoot. yeah, this guy, good,
You know I
good.
gotta go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
He's the real
I haven't
content,
seen
you're
that.
right.
I'm curious what your claim is, man.
My claim is that there is most certainly not only a global cabal that is that has our world currently enslaved, right, seeking us on a path of destruction to siphon out the energy of our soul, putting us on a satanic type of path.
Yeah.
But that global cabal is actually ran by interdimensional, spiritual, whatever you would call it, that's lizard people, reptilians.
For sure.
Very
Is this the
specifically.
Anunnaki conspiracy where they live in the moon, or do they live in an actual...
The world is not run by interdimensional lizard people. The reptilian ruler conspiracy popularized by David Icke in the 90s has been thoroughly debunked. Stop it. Jubilee is paid actors by the lizards.
different dimension outside of our planet plane firmament.
You don't have to leave the firmament.
You know, I saw like a place say that, you know, in the early 2000s there was this big popular show like History Channel, where the History Channel was like actually not really history but like more like conspiracy theory about history, and there it make like a whole branch of the population kind of believe those theory, because like the show was made to be almost like it could be true. Aliens could have made Hitler die.
To travel interdimensionally, you can hop into your Merkaba.
You know, and David Icke the Lizard Dinies kind of like go to like these shows.
Like Queen was putting out type, right?
I kind of love
you
this.
Can leave to other planets here, like she was saying. There's astral projection.
Yeah,
you could.
I think there's a cultural goal about like these or History Channel like aliens are building the Stonehenge in pyramids, and people were actually believing it like kinda, and it kind of started. I wonder like if people were as like conspiratorial before the 90s. Like I feel conspiracy theory or like really a modern 2000 thing. I just wonder like if we can track like a certain like history of like how people were thinking their conspiracy theory.
Now, people who do vote remotely.
I feel it's like in
that when
90s,
they go to
2000. In the
moon,
80s, I don't see it that
there's
much.
an intergalactic planetary meeting going on in there. Type the moon's hollow. You feel me? Like
I do feel you. Do they walk among us?
Yes, that's where we get into the shape-shifting reptilian phase, right? Where they talk about the queen, you feel me, the UK, the British, the monarchy, the serpentine bloodline.
Yeah.
That actually comes back, and they believe that we are the bloodline of Melchizedek. We are the bloodline of Lucifer, the Nephilim that you would call it, to where they do have the divine right to rule over us.
I'm trying to find some common ground here, so I want to back up a little bit. You said all of humanity is enslaved. Now, I do think that humanity is in fact enslaved to a couple different things: dopamine, sugar, drugs. I don't know.
Capitalism.
I'm curious, when you say enslaved,
That was
what?
too easy to
That
say.
means I'm enslaved by lizards.
Yeah, bro, I support you. We shall conquer this world. Nick, you and me, baby. World domination. My throne, you on my side, my knight, my right-hand knight. 10,000 bitches. At least. I agree. Nick, we have big plan coming. We have big plan.
So the child sacrifice.
I don't do that.
We will defeat the lizards.
Yeah. Right? And the reasoning for why child sacrifice.
And if the earth is not flat, you know what? I'm going to make it flat, baby.
Sacrifice would even be a thing, right?
Just because
when
it's
you're
cool.
Dealing with pure magic, everything is energy. Everything is masculine and feminine on Polaris. You feel me? And the sacrifice to these balls, to these Moleks, from in the Talmud. You feel me? To
Parsi,
the
I didn't
Bible,
say
to
if
the
you're.
Quran, there's
How are you
always
doing,
these
Parsi?
deities that Yahweh, that Enlil like admits to existing, admits that there's a pantheon of gods above and below the humans that are created, whether we're the first, 8th, or 9th version.
We're going to make the art triangle just because we want to. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. Make the art triangle. Oh shit. Yes. Yes, and as the king, I'm forcing people to play League of Legends. I do not care. Education are going to become League of Legends. We're going to make League of Legends beast in this society, okay? And at the end of the day, if they want to become adult, they have to do 5 and 5 in a tournament. Loser dies, winners get to reproduce, and that's all. We create a society built to make the most performant League of Legends players of all time.
We exist in this world with higher domains and entities above
We should
us.
do that.
You don't believe in one true God. You believe in a pantheon of gods, sort of a polytheistic deity base.
You see, those people, it's like, those people things like 10,000 years ago when they didn't have shit to like think about. And I think it's kind of cool.
Where every god throughout history is valid under the same system.
We're the same, right?
No.
We didn't
Just
change.
like I believe,
Only the culture
just like
did.
just like I believe I'm God.
Ooh, we get spiritual here.
Stop soon? We don't need to. My new Kia Sportage Hybrid can go up to 775 kilometers.
Oh, the
without
ads.
Stop for gas.
Welcome to the
The
future.
first thing I'm
Fuel
going to do is
efficiency
ban
in the new
ads.
Kia Sportage. Kia, movement that inspires.
Cet automne,
I'm going
laissez
to ban every
Structure
ads.
transformer votre espace en un décor douillet et
The only
chaud.
ads is the keyboard
Oh.
chat thing.
Right now, check it out. Check it out. Just like I believe you're Stardust, bro. You are Stardust.
I know.
Every single one of your atoms is filled with dynamic potential of God.
Thank you.
To be able to choose whatever it wants to be in that result. So when it's the micro is equal to the macro, as above, so below. These are hermetic principles. You feel me? That are based upon like reality. Like what would they say? Unscripted laws. And in that, the
This guy is awesome.
divinities, the deities that the Almighty, that the one above has created, has allowed itself to form into, to create the experience that we're in here, they're given different levels of principalities, different levels of power. But they say in the Bible, for example, that we are the greatest. Us, this emanation, this version of God is the greatest, stronger than the angels, stronger than the devils, the demons, the entities, all of that. The wind don't get to choose whether or not it gets to be the wind. You get to choose whatever you want to be, however you want to be it, in your form.
Zero was like, nah, this guy's a crack. This is just a crackhead, dude.
The war is for inversion. The war is to turn your good dark. How? The slave mind. It's can I get you to deny what you see and then invert it? What can you make what's good bad? Can
Well,
you
the
make
slave
what's
mind
bad
to me is
light?
somebody who spends 10 hours a day on Instagram, doesn't have any friends, eats processed foods, doesn't exercise.
Zuckerberg is ran by the reptilians, for sure,
Isn't in touch with their soul.
Yeah, everyone can choose
All
whatever
the
he
friends
wants,
they
but
make
he
exist
can't
on
change
online
his
planes,
skin
and they
color
have no
somehow.
autonomy, and they're just kind of working.
What?
towards- Now,
What are you yapping about, Nick?
I feel kind of like we agree on that. But the difference is, I'd like to see some Anunnaki.
What
proof.
is that
Because
conspiracy
right now,
theory
all
you're
I can
saying,
kind of
bro?
hear is anecdotal evidence.
Okay, in the Emerald Tablets, you know.
Wait. We got to go step by step. What are the Emerald Tablets?
The Emerald Tablets is a compendium of basically like the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Where is it at?
Right now, it's in a museum, right?
Where is it at?
British Museum.
Okay.
Right?
So as humanity, what can we do to liberate ourselves from the slave mind?
Either you have the technocratic transhumanism Neuralink in your brain, you don't meditate, I don't need to study, I don't need to tap into the Akashic records in God because I could just press a button and get everything I know. or it's a specific fight against that. It's a push into your soul. It's a push into nature. It's a push into the ether to be the original God. It's downloads. You get downloads from the sun. You get downloads
So would you
from
believe
meditation.
in like rewilding and people settling outside of congested cities?
Psycho?
Absolutely. Why they're trying to get us to be in these smart cities. Absolutely.
Well, the big problem is the developers have bought up all the beautiful places in the world, so it's kind of hard because you get somewhere beautiful and it just becomes a tourist resort or something like that.
Indeed.
Or a ski village. So for you, where do you live? Like generally?
I live in the hood, city, LA.
So you live in the hood now?
Yes.
How are you able to tap into these frequencies from the hood?
Because God is good. Again, when I see the homeless man on the street based out off crack type, I can still see God in you. Like if you really listen to somebody when they talking, they could be out of their mind. God got a message to like speak through them. So for me, even when I was like in
again, it's like I feel like they have a certain experience about the world. They cannot explain it with science or anything else, and the only way they can explain these like spiritual feelings, it's like through these like complicated like theory about the world. That's how they make sense of like how they're feeling, you know. It's like feelings that you cannot really explain, and the only way we can explain it is like by creating these like ways of seeing the world, you know. Yeah.
The worst parts of the hood, there's always a little park around the corner, bro. You can
just
choose
cannot
to be at the
explain
park,
it. You
smoke
try,
weed and drink
you
with the homies if you want to, or you can
you
come
make
work out
sense.
and meditate.
For sure.
You got the choice. You're God. You feel me? You can make.
And the
your
more it
life
goes
happen.
on, the more like you need to like make sense of the rest too, to make sense to that theory. You try to find a good in them, but there isn't. They're just wrong. I'm trying to yeah, of course I'm trying to see the good. They're like us, bro. Yeah. You pretend like you wouldn't be like at the same position of him, you're probably like go like the same way. But like I'm trying to just frame a bit of like humanity upon like these people that they're like stigmatized a lot. I'm not saying they are not bringing information that are not factual, but I just say that it's like they are working, their brain is like kind of like you know, they're like they're still like having the same like experiences as you. They're just like have a weird belief about the world. I don't know how to explain it. You see, even me, I cannot explain the way I'm feeling about those people. And the only way is like I could explain. It's like, look, man, I'm connected to them. I'm connected to everyone else, and there's like in that experience, it's like there's some kind of like I understand the experience, and I don't believe in their theories. I just understand like how there's like it's experience science cannot like explain, and sometimes it's like you can feel like these systems are so bigger than you. It's like again, it's like really intuition. They have the information, they just choose to not believe it. I think it's more complicated than that.
Or hell, depends on what you.
I think it's like I said.
Can you give
the more information you'll get, the more attached you'll be to that information. It becomes part of you, and so when it becomes part of you, it becomes like really hard to change it. It's not everyone that has the same resilience over changing oneself. You see, it's like if you grew up in a certain like dynamic, you're not going to have the same capacity to like change yourself and stuff like that, right? And it's like I feel like with the worldview you hold, it's kind of part of that same thing. It's like you are your worldview, and so that's why it's like I don't like to like
message.
And again, there's a certain like with those they're still naive. You see, I feel those are they're kind. They're not like trying to like actually be like Nazis. You know, Like maybe like some bad conspiracy theory, you become like Nazis and stuff like that, and you see now I've got a problem because morally you've entered like a land that's like not like humanistic enough. You see, like this guy seems kind. You see what I mean? It's like he talks about like I can have the same experience. I'm living through the same thing as this guy on the street like on drugs, and it's really like still come from a good place. You know, it's like I think conspiracy theory and when you can bash it, it's when it comes really to like either it destroy your own life or it becomes a way to aid other people like Nazis. We all agree Nazis or fascism is like a conspiracy theory taken the wrong way. Do we agree? And so by that extent it's like I'm just like trying to connect with this guy in some sense. I of course I don't believe what he's saying. Of course it's bad crazy. Like the artist flat. Come on, man. Lizards. You see, it's like just magical. It's just magic. It's like I don't believe in magic, but at the same time, it's like beyond all those things. I still think it's good. It's like it's good. It's good spirited. You know, it's like compared to Nazis. Nazis, I wouldn't have the same like fucking like saying. You know,
to the children of the world.
if you're racist and you have like you see, it's like those conspiracy theories are kind. There's conspiracy theories. They're definitely they get that gets like race IQ and stuff like that. There's like a hierarchy of like races, and you can like technically decide that there's like one race that's like better than the other. That's a conspiracy you don't want, right? It's like it's just like aiding a group. It's like what the fuck is that? Same for Nazis. Same for like I'm trying to think about like other conspiracy theory that they're like meaningful. You know?
You are more than enough.
So it's like here I'm like conducting like what they're saying. I know it's crazy, but I just trying to connect with the people because I think it still comes from a good place. You know, it comes from a place of connection, like that shaman. If it's like crazy, you know.
Everything, you have a universe inside of you, and by allowing God to come through you and reaching your full potential in this plane, you will access everybody else's universe. We are connected on a grid, a neural neta. You thinking hard.
You see, it's like trying to connect with us with this series. Like,
right now,
dude,
bro,
we're the
you don't even
same.
know. You just
We're
bro,
from
you just
stars.
spoke
Ain't that
to
beautiful?
dreams.
You see what I mean?
Just by you doing what you're supposed to do here, for real, for real.
Hell yeah, you got it. Hey man.
I think it's got look.
I appreciate it. Great talk. Thanks for the game, man.
Oh man, good looking.
I had a great time. It's kind of like what I always say is that most people not only think they're doing the right thing, but mostly are in it for the right reasons, and they just gravitate toward a certain type of research because it's what they're into.
I love that he was open-minded. The hardest part is people trying to come in with a preconceived notion and not allowing us to just give our own perspectives. It's not that we're here to change anybody's mind. It's just we might have a different viewer perspective and how we see the world, and that's all right.
Clean, man, clean. Bro is not just learned, but he's calm, he's sophisticated, he's still makes you feel friendly, peaceful, bro.
There's a lot of things where he was willing to admit his positions had holes in them, but when we get down to the myopic specifics, you have to admit there's no evidence that the United States government had anything to do with 9/11. Well, it's hard to debate that. I think Andrew maybe is a bit more of a conspiracy theorist than he would like to let on.
And yeah, I actually had more in common with people than I expected. I wasn't trying to pick apart what they were saying. I mean, I was looking for certain logical loopholes, but I was trying to find common ground because I feel like there's no way that I'm.
Yeah, you start with a common ground.
Someone.
You start with a common ground, and then you can work a bit. Like, I get it, but by the end of the day, he's dumbing down society. Someone will see this theory and think, yeah, he's right. And if we thought rationally, maybe this guy would win a Nobel Prize for some invention. No, I agree. I wouldn't. I still think that having like people like that are in those like domains shows a lack of education still. Like I'm not saying that, okay?
Earth's not
I
flat.
still believe
It's
like
not gonna happen.
there's like there's still like knowledge that come, logical steps that are like more rational, and as a society, especially today, those types of knowledge are just like helpful for cohesion. I agree.
Done.
I agree, and that's why I think in the U.S. right now it's like kind of going crazy, right? It's kind of part of this. So I agree with this at the end, yeah. Okay, you want to see this? So what is this? Flat Earth is
welcome back to Middle.
34 minutes. Okay,
Before we
we'll
jump
go.
in, we've got
Can we go through this like kind of fast? The Bible. The Bible.
Huge announcement. A lot of folks have been asking for this for years. We're finally giving you the first ever Jubilee podcast called Radical Empathy.
That's right. We are really proud and excited to share it with you guys. It actually features an interview with somebody in this.
The one on my right, sphere. If you think that is the shape of the Earth,
That's a much better video. I just love Andrew Kelligan.
the other model is the shape of the Earth.
I think more than the subject, I just love Andrew Kelligan. I just love how he approaches meeting people, even if they're like so far or like conservative or something like that. I feel there's like a really certain humanity to it that I really dig.
What do you think the shape of the Earth is?
I don't think. I know for a fact it's a globe.
The Earth is flat.
It's like we have this picture of reality that's a big puzzle piece, and then one of those pieces just wasn't fitting.
I'm always open to having a discussion with someone who is holding a wrong belief like this.
Are you willing to change your mind on this?
I'm not. Evidence is so much. Nobody wants to be a flat earther, but if you showed me incontrovertible evidence, I would definitely go back. Who wants the ridicule?
Where do you want me to get from the discussion with the other side?
I'd like to tear them to pieces.
I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna rip their guts, cut their throat, drink their blood. Blood for the flat earth.
I'm Jim Underdown, Executive Director of the Center for Inquiry West in Los Angeles and the Chair of the CFI Investigations Group.
I'm Spencer Marks, one of the senior members of the CFI Investigations Group.
That's an old video. I remember seeing this. This has been 5 years ago. Okay.
I'm Malina Yeri. I'm a theoretical physicist.
Beginning of.
With the University
No,
of
it was Biden.
I'm Wendell
Was through
Walton.
Biden.
I'm a Chief Learning Officer for a young startup.
I'm Shelley Lewis. I'm a graduate of West Point, critical thinker, and jumped out of airplanes.
Critical
I
thinker.
work as Dan the Waterman in the drinking water filtration industry and a truth seeker.
I get my flat earthers on the left and my globe earthers on the right. Only step forward if this is true for you. I believe the earth was created by a higher power.
Well, I've been a Christian for 30 years, so the Bible is a flat earth book. You have to take it literally. Like, for example, in Isaiah, when it talks about how the earth is
Critical
like a floating
thinker,
black
what do you
seal
want to
with
fool,
stamped with
girl?
upturned edges. That's just not some fancy story. That's a simile. It is like.
Right, absolutely. And in Isaiah talks about too, and I'm Christian, he who sits upon the circle of the earth.
Yeah, well, you see, it starts with the premises. They're starting with the Bible. It's like, the Bible is a pretty story, but like, it's information, it's like...
There's a difference between a circle and a ball.
Well, exactly. If you look at the original Hebrew, it means disc. There's over 200 scriptures in the Bible that point to a flat earth.
So this notion that you need God or some higher power to create the earth or the universe is very old and was initially posited by people of a pre-scientific age. Since then, we have learned quite a bit about the universe coming into existence.
It's like, it comes to a point, it's like, with the Bible, it's like the knowledge that the Bible holds about reality has a higher value than the scientific value that as some step you can like test yourself that it's logical, which like that's why these guys are going to base flat earth upon the Bible, because for them it's like the knowledge of the Bible has more value than a scientific approach. In my opinion, the scientific approach has more value because you can like yourself see what are the steps to confirm that value of that information. But having those steps is like, you need the tools for understanding that, which is like,
when that happened. Modern humans don't get their cosmology, they don't get their physics, they don't get their knowledge of the universe from the Bible or any ancient text.
It's sort of like the God of the gaps. Once, people used to believe that lightning was God's wrath and throwing these lightning bolts, but once we understood it was a natural process, God shrank a little bit more because now we couldn't attribute those lightning bolts to God. We had to attribute that to the real science. And the other thing, the point about the Bible specifically for me is, why is that one particular text the correct one? You choose to believe that, and that's fine, but there's so many other writings and so many other books, so why weren't they correct? Why is just the Bible correct?
Well, what you'll find in a lot of these ancient religions is they're all flat earth religions. All their cosmology goes back to being
you see, for them it's like I don't think they see the value that science holds upon the information it creates compared to religious texts. I think it's just like this assumption at the beginning assumption. That's why it kind of fucks.
System. So it's not just the Bible that teaches this. It's many different religious books.
It's like, why are these like religious book more of value about the knowledge they hold than the scientific approach? That's where I would have all the debates. It's like, you know, because like it's like any piece of art. The material you're using here, they're not equal. Yes, you can think that the ancient books hold value more than science, or it's equal to the science. But in my opinion, because science, you can really know where the value is from, step by step. I think the value holds more value because of it. It's like, right? One is just faith. One is just like believing it. That's the value. The other one is like there's kind of steps into it to like actually prove that it holds value. You know, one just assume it holds more value. The other one tries to show you why it holds more value, step by step. Scientific method.
In nature, by holy books,
which
those
is
are
like
religious books. Those are not books of science.
You need the tools
and
for that.
It is wrong to infer or deduct scientific readings out of those books.
How could a book that was written ages ago have more value than evidence science provides? I just don't get it. Well, if a book is old, it still holds some value, like somehow. You know, it's like that's how history works, right? There's like these books still have information, but I think it's just you need to be careful about how you use those information. You know, old book have like so much stuff. You read old philosophy or like old religion book, I really think they hold a certain like beauty into them. But you need to be careful about how you use those materials, what it entails, right? And that's where the problem I think with the flat earther guys basing themselves upon the Bible is that they use the Bible because they just believe faithfully with faith that it just like because it's God it holds more, you know. And that's I've been like where they're coming from. It's just like no, it's just faith. That's all the religion. You have to have faith into the value it holds.
I am a logical, biblically based, and scientific flat earther.
They're going to be scientific and they're going to be logical, but the basis of their knowledge is going to come from the Bible, and the premise is they're going to have faith in both like the Bible has more value to use as their materials to build theories with. Of course, they have value, but they have no evidence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They have no evidence why they have value more.
But I had a lot of questions, so I actually got to the point.
But I think that's where you kind of go off into like a religious mind here. Is like you just need to have faith. That's it. You have faith. That's how it works. If you want to go to the heaven, just have faith. That's how it works. So it's like
I had to go out and
it's like the whole purpose is like that you have faith. That you don't question it. It's kind of that procedure.
So
you just have to have faith.
To an observation at Salton Sea.
You don't question
and
it's
things
faith.
Just didn't add up down there. So we've gone back probably a dozen times, and I can guarantee you.
And at the end of the day, it's like you kind of like, if they really want to have faith in that, it's kind of hard to like say it's wrong, because for them it's like having faith is like even if I've got evidence that the information I use is false, you know, it's like negativism. It's kind of negativism. It's like on purpose, like trying to get rid of the other. Anyways, I think you understand where I'm coming from here. I think we're saying the same thing. I think we're like I think I'm pretty much saying what you're saying.
Well, we have the advantage of information today that's outside of channels 2, 4, and 7 and the few networks that are corporately owned. It's pretty easy to say YouTube isn't research, but when you spend enough time...
Now think about it. Conspiracy theories, because like they don't have the knowledge to understand the value of their materials.
So it's not that easy for us to come to consensus, and we find the consensus is orchestrated and not actually scientific in any way.
You know, my grandfather used to tell
me
they
pretend it's scientific, but like they don't have the scientific like methodology of like trying to test if their materials is like valid. The basis of it, the information they gather, how much it's like.
That's why, because of my my multimedia background, I knew that all that stuff could be faked. You know, take it into Photoshop, take it into After Effects.
You know, how much you can like trust your senses, how much can you trust your own biases about thinking. That takes a lot of like work. That's, you know, it's like hard. You need to like, it takes education, it takes a long time.
Okay, this is at the core of the...
It's like, I'm lucky to be able to think like that because I have a big like interest in science, and like I go to university and I I do try to like question myself about those things, but like it gets hard for like more normal people. Do you see what I mean?
Of why there are so many flat Earth believers out there right now. The problem is the information from someone who decides to start a website or produce a YouTube video is not reliable. When I have a toothache, I go to a dentist. When my car breaks down, I go to a mechanic. When you have questions about cosmology, you should go to an astrophysicist, you should go to a physicist.
But again, it lacks the question of like those guys don't trust astrophysicists because the value of their material is still like better than a scientific value. For them, the Bible holds more. You know what I mean? And the scientists, in some sense, I don't think realize that. I think that's like, you know, he's a physician. He's not like a social scientist or something. But I think there's a truth there.
Studying these ideas, not some
the subjectivity of the material you're using.
That if they saw a YouTube video that was not within their scientific chops to refute on the face of it, would believe anything out there.
One of the things I will say is NASA.gov has their own document.
And I think that's where the you know physicists don't have the social science approach of like understanding subjectivity and how you construct subjectivity to your own self. I think that's really like social science more than like actual physics.
Do you agree that NASA documents, if they're on display, that we should?
They don't trust an astrophysics, but they just they trust a book that has literally no evidence. Please tell me how does it make sense? It makes sense if you take the subjectivity of the actors here. If you put yourself as a flat earther, you're going to look at a piece of information from science and you're going to look at a piece of information from the Bible. First thing first, the piece of the Bible is going to hold more value because you have faith into that value. The process of being a Catholic is trusting and having faith upon Jesus as being resurrected. And so it tainted it, and every information from the Bible holds information by God, and because God is perfect and because I have faith in God, the information by extent is perfect too. They're going to look at the scientific materials and literature, and for them it's going to be okay. Maybe there is like step for it, but my faith dictates me that I need to kinda, even if I'm questioning my faith, to still go back to my faith. But why would you have faith in the first place? Because you're afraid of death? I mean, yeah, okay. Now that's the part we could go deeper of why people have faith in the first place. But I think that becomes like a whole other like conversation, like why people have faith. Because that's how, I get it. That's just a theory. I do not know if really that's how those people are living their conspiracy theory. That's how they're living their treatment of the information here. I cannot like know for sure here. It's theories. But yeah, maybe that could be why. If you don't have faith, you get that scare of death, and that's another like ballpark to like go through if you're just want to like start doubting the Bible. I remember like watching Red from Good Mythical Morning, and like for Catholic, if you really grew up in like big Catholic circle, it's really hard to start questioning everything, because questioning the Bible becomes questioning your family, it becomes questioning everyone else, and it kind of isolates you from like your family that them are still faithful. So I think there's also this thing, there's like a pressure to like keep your faith when you're like surrounded by Catholics or any religion for a matter, you know. After a certain point, like where that's one of the problems with religion is like you're kind of like too dogmatic. You don't have really free work around the information it gives you, right? So I guess there's like one of the reasons why you'll stick to the faith of the Bible instead of like starting to doubt that faith. That's one of the reasons I could see.
Research inside there.
NASA
but again, it's like such a complicated thing, right?
You should read what NASA says, and you should listen to what NASA says.
I would love to see your NASA evidence that the Earth is
It's
flat.
only their contradictory issues
Okay,
that bring us here.
We're all familiar with the Earthrise.
And there's a lot of biases going on.
We're all familiar with it. As a NASA, you can go out to NASA site, you can download the original, right?
I already know what you're going to ask.
So you bring up the luminance on it, and you can see where it's cut out and pasted there.
They're showing us doctored images that are clearly doctored. The blue marble is a very famous.
I must prefer like Andrew Kelly. I feel here they're more about like fighting than like having a discussion of like, you know. I grew up as Catholic. My parents still are very Catholic, but I can see the sense of this religion. To me, life is very simple. You live when you die, and that's it. Why you'll be there's something afterwards? Oh yeah. But yeah, for sure. But I think there's some people that are going to be more attached to not questioning it, and it's just like because you're Nikos 88, you know, chess master, questioning everything, being logical minded. You see what I mean? I feel you maybe have like more you're more willing to question just because of how you are. You have the tools to actually being able to question it and not like lose anything out of it. You just gain knowledge out of it. But I think there's a lot of people that are like they're not like that. You know, they're going to be more it's going to seem to cost more to question themselves. Does that make sense? Of course, not everyone is going to live their faith the same way. Yeah, actually, now you made me realize something. If it didn't question myself, I would have still have faith. Yeah, and that questioning of yourself is not like as easy for everyone else. I guess these people just will try first thing first, but also like sometimes it's just like questioning your own faith can like means a lot more too. You know, it can like when you like these people are way older. Like you're still young. It doesn't like old that much. You know, you're in your teens. It's kind of part of like you know growing up as an adult, like questioning those things. So it's like it doesn't hold the same place. Your questioning about the faith doesn't hold the same place in your life that maybe those people that are stuck in conspiracy theory holds. So you see what I'm saying? I think it's really interesting though. I think it's really interesting.
Added clouds.
It's a nice conversation.
You take, you know, on your phone, most phones have that panoramic image. When you do that, you're taking a series of pictures, and the phone cleverly stitches that together.
How it's presented. It's presented as a real photograph.
So when NASA takes real photos, and they either clean them up for color, or they stitch them together so it's one large image, it doesn't mean they're CGI.
You're talking about composites. I'm what you call a globe denier. You could even get me into a virtual construct if I can't find the borders myself.
What shape would you say you think
Le Kia Seltos vous suit partout.
Quelle
que soit la route que vous prenez. Le Kia Seltos, le plaisir de conduire intégral. Kia, du mouvement vient l'inspiration.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger right there.
Please, I don't care. Get away, lady.
It appears to me to be a stationary plane. As opposed to the vastness of infinity of space, I would find it to be an ice plane where we have a localized sun and our environment thrives there. You know, these particular people have misled us on television. This is a brilliant opportunity to speak. We've been suppressed, censored by mainstream media. Alternative media is just a thing of beauty for me.
I view the other side as uneducated.
Ooh.
I'm running
for this. Well,
dude, why this sounds if I would have gone there. I don't care.
You know, the university system, what we call science.
I would have called them uneducated.
The belief in what's written, where we tend to be exploring in the field.
I'm sorry, but like what?
Physical properties.
Of course.
Theories of any kind. We're using actual measurements that are calculated not by our guidelines, but the guidelines of science as we know it.
These scientists, I don't like these scientists. They don't know shit.
Well, that's the other thing too, because we know that at least on a large scale, the government has been disingenuous, and they're pushing a narrative. Right? So it's hard for us, and I'm sure you people too. It's like, are you just you haven't looked into it yet, or are you a shill?
We're watching globe art. Jose, do you think the art is flat?
I think you're wrongly educated.
I think the problem with what I've seen in the flat Earth crowd is that it's not that they're undereducated, but they, instead of looking at evidence and letting the evidence guide to where the ultimate conclusion is, they start with a conclusion and then they try to cherry pick evidence to support their pre-drawn
That's
conclusion.
for free.
They
That's
cast
for
away
free,
all
King.
the bits of evidence that actually is contrary to their beliefs.
I think that you're very well educated as well as you are, Jim.
The earth wasn't flat. There wouldn't be gravity.
Exactly, and he paid for it too. But more
Why?
and more professionals are coming.
Please
on
show
board
me
with
your
certain questions
sources,
of reality.
you
so the thing about it
libtard.
is once you start to really
You're
look
not
at the
educated.
the evidence and you are unafraid of just standing for the truth, people end up becoming flat earthers.
I'm hoping to be able
My
to
sources
tell
is
our
this
side
video.
of
Are
the
you?
story so many times
I am on the
that are
global.
presented
I'm
the
on
outside
the
in,
global
and I want to be able to share with others
part team.
empirical data that proves
I'm against the
Earth is not what
scientists.
we've
They
been
annoy me now.
I have changed my mind at some point about this topic.
So when I was
Dude, these scientists sucks. These scientists sucks. These scientists suck. They don't. The whole point of science is to question yourself, and you're saying you never question your. Oh, I'm on.
I went into
the global elite. These guys are more scientists.
Completely.
Earth is a pizza because I say
My
so.
husband
Yep.
told me, he saw this.
The moon.
And I was like,
how would the
"You're
moon be
absolutely crazy.
flat?
There's no
Yeah, that's
way
the thing
that
too.
the moon landings
Do they
are
think
fake."
they're?
And then in 2010,
What about the
my husband was
moon?
killed. And so I never
Is the
really
moon a
understood
globe, but
until
not the
around,
Earth?
2014 when flat
That
Earth
is
kind of
true.
came back up. And
That is actually
and that
true.
little
What do you
voice
think
in
about
my head
the moon?
said, remember the fake moon landings? Remember?
Or the other planets?
That was brought to my attention.
The
And I
sun?
started really
The
analyzing
sun?
that, and I
Why is
would
the
say,
sun circle? Why
just
did the
looking
moon
at
circle,
that,
but not the
they lie
Earth?
about the moon landings. They
What is
just
going
lie about
on?
Pictures and satellites and other things. And so I started going down that rabbit hole.
They don't question themselves in this particular take. Yeah, but there's. I know, but like you're trying to. They're bad scientists. They don't show what it means to be a scientist.
NASA.
They don't live the scientist dream. They're just like nerds. They just don't think the Earth is flat, circle with.
It is solely designed to change my mind. It
So how to go
its
from
inception
Russia
from its
to
discovery
Alaska?
Has been a television program.
They
It's been a space program to
teleport.
sell us on something that they've yet to actually
They
show us.
teleport. They're
Show
up,
me
pew!
a globe spinning.
They
with
go inside
planets,
cave
and a moon.
art.
Show me home.
Go back to
I think I
Alaska.
could shut up quite. I mean, easily. I think I could shut up.
I'm not even paying attention to the
timing
video. I'm
of
just
this
yapping.
conversion is interesting to me. 20 years ago, the flat Earth world was tiny and insignificant. Enter the advent of the internet, YouTube, online discussion groups. All these
Imagine
new
taking a
available
flight
places
from
where you can
Alaska
find
to
information
Russia.
about everything.
This is true.
I guess just doesn't work.
Evidence as you looked were not robust.
No, but like they would have said like, basically it's like it's shaped in a circle, but like Russia is still close to Alaska in like in a way it's like you know, like a disc. We need to make it all opposite side. Yeah, but like the art is maybe not like a map. It's like more like a disc on the you know.
But at the same time, you are not skeptical about your belief system.
You
That
keep
should have
going
come
back.
first.
You think that that's my foundation for why I believe the Earth is flat, and I'm telling you, you're wrong. I have evidence that proves it's flat.
What type of
proves
evidence
It's not
here?
a ball.
What
Curvature,
type of-
I
We're
don't
being
know.
misled. We're being deliberately misled by mainstream
But
media.
what's your evidence? You're
We see
thinking?
too far. We
What,
see too
under
far.
the
We should not
disc?
be able to see. I live in Dana Point.
Okay.
God, a turtle, a big turtle.
What do you mean so
No,
what?
I'm on the beach.
1,100
I'm on the
feet tall.
beach.
What do you mean by so what?
I'm on the beach.
Yeah,
So,
you see
so
a
it
ship
means
at
we
this
could
point?
just
Yeah, let's
mine
talk
until
about the ship
it
that goes
forever
up
and then
to
the
Earth.
void.
So science has said that when I see a ship go up
It's aliens. Aliens are under it.
my field of view, it's going over the.
What type
curvature
of
the Earth,
we're
right?
being misled?
Then I bring my P900 up, and guess what? I can zoom it back in.
Not
So
all
is
the
it going over the curvature of the Earth or not?
Absolutely.
Oh, not all the time. Not all the time.
They don't have the materials. They don't have the basis.
Hidden by the
At that
curvature.
distance, you shouldn't.
They don't have
see
the
it.
basic thing.
If the Earth were truly flat, there would be really hardly any limit. You'd be able to stand at the top of the Empire State
Then
Building.
fall down.
look towards
You
Chicago,
fall down.
1,000 miles
You
away,
fall
and
for
see the
so
lights
long,
go at night.
then you
Why
go
would
back
have
up,
atmospheric disturbance?
Very thin.
and you fall
I've
into
been
the
in
ocean.
astronomy since I was 10.
It's faulty logic. It's completely faulty logic. Okay.
This video sucks.
Big
I
things
prefer
on
the other
Forbes
one.
Investigate extraordinary claims like flat eartherism or ESP.
Flat
all sorts
eartherism?
of different things. The Earth is undoubtedly a globe and not flat.
I
This
don't
is
like the
well
scientists
supported
there.
by gobs of
The
science.
globler, the flat earther.
Consensus is
What is the question?
I don't understand the question.
Scientific consensus is possible.
Possible. Anything is possible. I mean, anything is possible. I've got a tremendous issue with consensus and peer review. I've been spending a lot of time arguing with people that argue the other side, and I found that surprisingly, consensus always wins. It was shocking to me that the group with the majority has an incredible advantage.
They're so close. They are so close. They're saying such smart things, but they're putting it in practice in such a way.
Faites confiance à Tylenol complet pour soulager
They're putting
vos
it in
10
such a
symptômes
way.
du rhume et de la grippe.
As
You
scientists,
just like confirm themselves.
flat earthers, truthers, punks, we're at an incredible disadvantage.
Let's talk about
Punks!
scientific consensus for a second. You're never going to get 100% of anyone. There is scientific consensus on global Earth. There's scientific consensus on evolution. A lot of big issues.
Use the word theory.
Do you know what a theory in science is? An extremely
And a fact
Let
is
me,
a fact.
Don't mistake this word theory.
You are,
in
not me.
science. It's not conjecture. It's not.
It's an explanation. Is it by definition? It's an explanation.
It's a deep.
Well, let's talk about a fact. Show me a fact. then.
Why do you involve punks in there? Because he's deviant. Because society is against him. Even his parents. Society and his parents are against him. That's why he's a flat earther.
Give something because it's so well supported.
What about
That's why he's a flat
It's a
earther.
fact. It's
not a fact you would call it
You
a
know why?
fact.
Do you know why? Because in science, there's always room for improvement. There's
That's
always
why aren't you?
room to find better, to tweak and find better information.
So that is how science works.
It gets better, refined over time, as opposed to flat Earth theory, which never gets refined. It simply is what it is.
New ideas have limited access to media and limited exposure. Until we're in university curriculums, we will continue to appear uneducated.
Well, that's not true. In the history of
That is true. They're still dumb, but there is a power dynamics between knowledge, and that is a thing. That is actually a thing you can study. There is a power dynamics between knowledge, and it's kind of wild when you say his type of knowledge makes him seem uneducated, but at the same time, it kind of is.
Of science, we had many occasions that the idea.
Yo, why are you speaking so fast?
Was not welcomed by the.
Because I want to go to sleep, and I put the video in 1.5. In 1.5.
Society.
No, they're
Einstein
so
was
slow.
Galileo was one of them. But if your theory is an authentic one, and it can go through this hardship of scientific method, eventually will win.
What's 1.5?
I used to. Believe that science was after the truth, right? We all just want to know what the truth is. Science has been trying so hard to divorce itself from the idea of a creator when God's intent was to create science to lead you to him. Sometimes things seem supernatural that we are able to explain later through, science. Okay, I understand. But there are other things as well that are supernatural, that go beyond the natural, that we can only explain through believing in a creator. Right.
This is my big issue with.
You see, it starts with the faith. That's why the Bible has a bit more like.
You're absolutely right. In science, we are after the truth, and we are hoping by each day we're getting closer and closer to the truth. We never get there. Never.
Well, I know that's true for you. And
no, that's the science. That's you guys. You think you do have the truth. Now let's look at the evidences. As you were mentioning, you do have the conclusion. Let's find the evidences. Science doesn't work that way.
That's not true. That is not true.
Well, you are saying you are referring to Jesus, who many billions of people do not believe, including myself.
And many more billions do.
So what?
So who's right?
Of course I can.
Sophism. yeah. Well, you see, because they cannot test their materials they're playing with,
and then try to match everything to make it work.
They cannot.
That to me is complete dishonesty. That is not true at all.
That is what you are doing
right now.
right
No, you're
now.
not. You're making that assumption.
No.
Which
and these scientists are not putting the emphasis on that.
The science make assumptions. The science make assumptions.
The theory, the flat earth already built is too strong. It's too big. It's like psychoanalysis. It's like Freud. There's always a way to defend the Freudian model, even if it's dumb.
Yeah, sure.
Scientists is Freudian psychoanalysis conspiracy theory.
I just want to check in. How are you guys feeling? How's this discussion going?
I kind of feel like I want to develop some of this stuff a little bit more. It feels high level, but I feel like there's so much that I haven't really even touched base on.
Well, I mean, I certainly didn't think that anybody was.
They feel all frustrated, especially the scientists.
I have hope for you, Wendell, and Shelley. I don't know about Dan. I have hope for you too.
Bunch of nerds.
But it's certainly. I'm glad.
So wait, in conclusion, I thought this was a joke. No, this is not a joke. There's people like. It's not a joke.
He flipped.
Oh, they really think it's flat? Yeah.
The greatest moment in television history, right there.
All right. NASA is trustworthy.
So,
okay, so NASA being trustworthy, they're of course they're going to talk about like how NASA is putting like information you can like actually test yourself as truth because there's like ways to test materials, right? They're going to talk about that, right?
Obviously, any organization can be wrong with certain things. And
what's the best argument for them?
May have individuals.
It's cool. It's fun. It makes you a punk.
Lie or deceive or something.
That they're misled by government. It's kind of a fun story to have for yourself.
The idea that NASA and the government is lying to us about the shape of the Earth is the height of conspiracy theories. In order for this to be true, literally hundreds
That's not cool. That's not a good theory.
Who at some point,
just cool,
over the last 50 or 60 years, would have to be somewhat complicit in this, and nobody spills the beans at all, is on the face of it completely unbelievable.
Old Spice, super hydration. Keeps me 24/7 moisturized and smells like a
the argument from the artist flats?
Can I try some?
Looks like we're out of Old Spice.
I think you need to respond to the question from the. There isn't any. That's the whole point. I mean, that's the base.
All the time.
Why you have that, guys? Why is everyone complaining about? You should have. Go on, Brave, but what is the best theory for flat Earth? I'm gonna finish here. I'm gonna finish here. Go on, Brave browser, no ads. Too late. We're going to torture ourselves with ads. We're all going to be together into the suffering of ads. We're going to complain. I want to see theories. Brave sick, no, brave sick indeed. I want a point by point of the like it's some kind of like debate. How do pilot know the Earth is round? Claim the Earth isn't always look flat. Oh, okay. NASA fakes image. Satellites data for multiple independent space agency, including NASA, blah blah. Again, it's like they're not going to believe that. They're amateur astronomers, and I've ask chat. Chat. Give me some good flat Earth theories, please. Come on. Come on, chat. Do your work. Do some work, chat. Come on, my children. Come on. Come on. Work. 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 I'm going to steal Chat GPT. Oh. Oh. I mean, I've got a bunch here. There isn't always like flat. If the Earth is spinning, why don't we feel it? Can we see the Earth curves from its plane? Why does gravity prove Earth is sphere? Aristotle knew in 3 blah 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 blah. They're not going to believe either. That's not playing with them. That's playing against them. They're not going to believe this. It's from NASA. NASA. Anyway, I'm gonna end here. Guys, thank you for coming. I really appreciate my little chatters. You guys are really fun. You guys are talk. You guys are like the best viewer ever. You guys deserve everything you deserve and you want because you're cool and cool chatters. That is rare. That is rare. So, anyways, have a good night. Kisses on the forehead. Mwah. And yeah, that's it. Ciao.